Almost didn't make it in time. Oh my God. Happy Monday, everybody. What's up? Boys, good news. Don Lemon might be going to prison. I mean, Christmas came late this year. Actually, my birthday's this month, so all I want for my birthday is Don Lemon in prison. That would be the greatest birthday present, boys. Can we do it? Can we do it? The Face Act, bro. We should change it to the Fuck Around and Find Out Act. A lot of leftists are, oh, stop saying FAFO. It's so stupid. Yeah, I know why you guys don't like FAFO, because you're experiencing it on a daily basis. What's up, boys and girls? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? So yeah, a lot of shit happened this weekend. They almost lynched Jake Lang. Not a fan of Jake Lang. I think he's a bit of a retard, but that doesn't mean you can lynch him with your mob of retards. And then we had them storming a church. Sunday, you're going to church with your family, and then all of a sudden a bunch of deranged leftists storm into your church and start screaming at you. Turns out that's a civil rights violation. Turns out there's actually a law in the books called the Face Act, which prohibits doing that. And Don Lemon might have just did something that's going to end him up in jail. I don't know. We'll see. Please, Trump. I don't care. You don't do anything else for the rest of your fucking term. If you put Don Lemon in jail, it's going to be a W, okay? What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing in the chat? We got MFG. What's up, brother? Disaffected Malcontent. How you doing? Rock out, bro. Rock out. Milk Day gift. Sup? Lock that ball sniffer up. Hell yes, Greek. They are finding out. Yeah, they're so triggered. I'm seeing it on X. What is it? Stop saying the FAFO. It's so lame. Stop saying it. Yeah, I wonder why you want us to stop saying it. Stop doing it. How about that? Stop fucking around and finding out, and we'll stop using the term FAFO, which just perfectly fits the situation, you know? Sometimes words are around for a reason. Let's get to it. We got a lot of footage of them going into that church. Don Lemon. He's kind of big upset now. He's like, I didn't do anything wrong, guys. It's all on video, Don. You know, you recorded it. You genius. Let's get to this. Let me pull this up. What's up, everybody? Links are in the description if you want to support the show. Also, you can smash the thumbs up to help get it out to more people. That would be nice. That would be much appreciated. And let's get to this stuff here. Let's what is going on with the what is going on with this stream? Is everything working? Okay. Seems like everything's working. All right. Let's get to it. This is some of it might be out of order, but this is from yesterday, when a bunch of geniuses thought it was a good idea to storm a church and protest because they claim the head guy there is like working for ICE. The guy, the pastor or whatever, is works for ICE. I don't even know if that's been confirmed yet. I mean, does it matter though? Like, oh, he works for ICE, so therefore we can go in and just storm your church in the middle of your what do they call it in Baptist? I mean, I was going to say mass, that's what we call it in the Catholic Church, but whatever, interrupt them in the middle of prayer and worship. It's pretty disgusting, but it doesn't matter at this point. These people keep like getting worse and worse and worse every day, and they think they're in the right for some reason. They think, basic law, like, hey, we're the federal government, we're in charge of the border, and it's our job to actually enforce border law. Like, oh no, I'm gonna fucking cry and act like a baby over the law being followed, and then they gaslight and act like we're the ones not following the law. It's getting like new levels of retarded with these people. It really is. Let's see here. I think this is them outside before they go into the church.
They're getting the operation together. Again, this is an operation that is secret, that they invited folks out. Can't tell you what is going to happen, but you're going to watch it live unfold here on the Don Lemon.
So it's a secret operation that Don Lemon was not a part of, but yet he knew it was just this one is damning enough. Like, Don knew what the fuck he was getting into. And Don, by the way, is the one who's been like hinting at like, oh, the Second Amendment's there for a reason. Like, it seems like Don wants people to start shooting ICE officers. That's what it seems like to me.
Show. There are for this reason looks for this reason, it may look like MAGA coded, but there's a reason they have so many white people here. I'm just going to be honest. It's because of the operation that they're doing today. It's important to have allies, as they said, white allies here.
These people are so obsessed with race, dude. These are the modern day racists, dude. The modern day racists obsess about race and call everybody else a racist while their whole brain is just nonstop obsessed with skin color. We gotta have white people here so it looks right.
So that is what I could.
They say MAGA coded. No, it's retard coded.
Say I turned our camera off of them because they're giving some critical information here. But there we go. Everybody's ready to go.
Yeah, protect them.
Let's go. Okay. Thank you guys thanks you for allowing me to be here.
Okay,
Thank you guys.
Okay.
How are you?
Good.
to see you. We're on. We're not saying what it is, what's going on, but thank you. Tell us why you're doing this.
So
This is Nakima Levy Armstrong. She's on the show
Nakima
on
Levy
Friday.
Armstrong, civil rights attorney, longtime activist here in the community.
Legit retard.
And, we protest and do activism in all kinds of ways. This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We show up somewhere.
This is Operation Go to Jail for civil rights violations.
That is a key location. They don't expect us to come there. And then we disrupt business as usual. So that's what we're about to go do right now. We've had a lot of success with the times we have done Operation Pull Up.
Yeah.
After George Floyd was killed, we went to the Police Federation head's home and staged a demonstration there. We also went to the head of the U.S. Marshals from Minnesota after Winston Smith was killed by the U.S. Marshals. We went there after Dante Wright was killed when AG Keith Ellison.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, look, Don wants to claim, like, I was just a journalist. I was just there to document it. Don, you were in on it, dude. You were 100% in on it. It's pretty fucking obvious. So this is them storming the fucking church.
Also the director of the field office for ICE in St. Paul. So someone who claims to worship God, teaching people in this church about God.
You know, I'm getting sick of this. Jesus wouldn't be the... Dude, do you realize, like, heaven has the fucking most hardest border? Like, you realize, like, the gates of heaven, like, there's a gate there? Like, anybody just can't get into heaven? The border policy in heaven is 10 times stricter than our border policy. Okay? Stop with this bullshit. These fucking Satanists acting like, oh, well, Jesus, they're using Jesus. Like, Jesus. Like, you guys don't even believe in Jesus. And it's so disingenuous to bring up Jesus all the time. Like, dude, we have laws like every other country. We have border laws, and heaven has border laws as well, okay?
Is out there overseeing ICE agents. Think about what we've experienced. The murder of Renee Good at the hands of ICE.
No. The self-defense, it wasn't a murder. Sorry.
A Venezuelan national.
It was an unfortunate death caused by somebody fleeing a legal arrest and putting an officer in danger of their life. And it's sad, it's unfortunate, but again, it's another FAFO moment for you retards.
Shot by ICE, a 6-month-old baby who almost died as a result of ICE unleashing military-grade weapons on our community. How dare you claim to be a pastor of God and you are involved in evil in our community?
Do you think Jesus would be understanding?
We're about worship.
These folks.
We're about.
Jesus would send all of you bitches to hell. That's what Jesus would do. Jesus would go, get behind me, Satan, and then he would open up the fucking he'd open up the ground and you'd see hell right underneath, and he'd be tossing you bitches into the fires of hell, and he'd be happy to do it because you guys are fucking evil.
Spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them?
No church had gathered for worship, which we do every Sunday, and we were interrupted by this group of protesters. Yeah. We asked them to leave, and they obviously have not left.
Bro, this would piss. I would be so pissed if I was at this church.
Super
and this
chatted
happened to me.
$4.99 invading a church. And they think they're brave for doing it.
They're playing
idiots.
They're playing themselves, dude. It's like they get away with so much because they have the media to lie for them. They have social media. They have AI now. AI, like you try to ask AI something and it couches everything with like the left-wing view. And it's like, dude, are you afraid of these? It's like Grok is afraid of these leftists. So you have to tell him, it's like, don't worry, Grok, I'm not a deranged leftist. Tell me what really happened. And then Grok will fucking throw off its leftist filter. It's so stupid, dude. These people are the problem in this country. Our problem is not ICE enforcing border law that the American people voted for that was passed constitutionally. Oh, but they don't have a warrant. Dude, I don't know if you know this, right? It's not a judicial issue. It's an executive issue. The fucking border security, enforcing border law is an executive issue. They don't follow. It's not up to the judicial branch to issue warrants. No, it's a federal judge that issues an immigration, a deportation order, and then ICE goes and enforces that judge's court order. But they always lie with the little details, and then they trick idiots that don't want to do any further research and go, well, they're doing this without a warrant. There's no due process. And it's like, dude, you have no fucking understanding, not even the tiniest understanding, or you're just completely lying about everything, which is normally what's going on here. I don't really think that these people are stupid at this point. I think they are just willing to lie to get what they want. And there's the pastor who's supposed to, I don't know, be a director for ICE. I don't know if anybody's even confirmed that, but it doesn't even fucking matter to me, dude. If he's a director for ICE, if he's the president of ICE, I don't fucking care. That doesn't make this right. So, I mean, there's children in here. So yeah, it's a violation. I mean, it is a violation of the FACE Act. They can claim it's not. It absolutely is. We'll read more about the FACE Act in a minute so you can understand. Here's some more. This guy is probably the most unhinged one who was at the church.
As you can see, all these pretend Christians, all these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives with your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters.
Just another deranged fucking communist, dude.
Just another deranged communist. Wearing a suit is a.
And we gotta stop calling these people liberals because they're not liberals. Okay? Liberals are mostly voting for Trump, right? Like actual liberals, by the book liberals. They've been pushed out of this left-wing communist bullshit a long time ago. Maybe we can call them progressives, okay, well, they're still fucking communists is what they are. They LARP as fucking liberals. So, like, we got to stop giving liberals a bad name. It'd be so great if we had actual liberals back running the left of this country. But no, they're fucking commies, bro.
Did Jesus wear a suit? Did Jesus profit off the words? No! Jesus would dine with immigrants. Do not touch me. Touch me again and see what happens.
Oh, so you're threatening to attack somebody in a church. Wow.
Agreedonk super chatted $2. They went in there to get warm. This is bullshit.
You're right. If they just really just went in there, sat down to get warm, no one would care. Right? But they went in there to disrupt everything.
Hey, you are a fake Christian. Why are you not standing with your Somali and Latino communities? Why do I not see you out at Whipple every day protesting this attack on humanity? Where are you?
This guy needs to get the most, when they start locking these people up, this guy needs to get the most jail time.
You're sinners. You're pretending to be Christians. But we know you live an easy life, don't you? A very easy life while people are starving. Shame. Out now! Out now! Living real comfortable while the people starve. Living real comfortable while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're all living real comfortable, aren't you? Shame on you. Do something. Stand with the Somalis. Stand with the Latinos. Quit ignoring this injustice. He wears a suit and tie, and he hangs out with Kristi Noem. How is that a Christian? You're supposed to accept all immigrants, are you?
You can't. How are you a Christian? You have to be a Christian. You have to be Democrat and believe everything I believe.
Spocko2181 super chatted $4.99. I love it when atheists lecture people on theology.
Bro, they're not even most of these are fucking Satanists, dude. That's the reality. Like, these people are beyond, like, atheism is like old to them. Like, oh, atheism, that's so 1990. Now they're full on into fucking Satanist bullshit. Not all of them, obviously, but a lot of them are.
You're not?
It's not they act like, oh, why aren't you being like, they fucking hate Jesus. They hate Christianity. They hate America. Okay? So they gaslight. They try to come from your point of view to make you feel bad. But these people are the most disgusting people in the world. They hate you. They hate the country. They hate God. They hate religion. They hate white people. All they want is power. That's all they want. And they'll do anything in the world to get that power, including setting you on fire if they have to. Like, they don't care about your life. They don't care about your well-being. They just, they have a goal. This amazing, like, fantasy view of what the world could be under communism, and nobody's ever done communism right before. We're going to do it right. These people are the biggest danger to this country right now. People want to talk about all kinds of other, it's like, it falls into these like weird little camps now where it's like the right wing people who fall for the emotional manipulation. You're fucking stupid, dude. If you're still falling for their emotional manipulation, oh, why is the government doing this? Government bad. Like, you're fucking beyond retarded at this point. And then there's the conspiracy theorists who are like, everything's a conspiracy. Don't you understand? This is all a deep state conspiracy to start a civil war and blah, 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 blah. And then you have the leftists who are just willing to lie about everything. Who just they don't give a fuck about nothing. They're just going to lie about everything. So it gets annoying when I get on the internet and it's like, it's either conspiracy theory, oh, none of this is real, this is all an act and all you idiots are falling for it. Or right-wing people like, aren't you worried that this is going to happen to us and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, I'm worried about it. It was already happening. And it's going to happen again. And I'd like to actually fucking nip this shit in the butt, which doing nothing but crying every time somebody does something or tries to fix anything, that's not how you fix the problem. You fix the problem by getting really aggressive, enforcing the law to the T, and arresting politicians who are refusing to allow the law to be enforced in their area. And yeah, we just get aggressive. We got to, as a country, say, we're done with you people. We're done with you. If you want to do peaceful protests, you want to hold your sign and, chant your slogans, like, that's fine. Right? But once you're blocking streets, you're stopping people from being able to live their lives because you want to take over their neighborhoods. You're marching into churches and there's a certain point where, how long are we going to put up with this? How long are we just going to sit back and go, oh, this kind of sucks and do nothing about it? I think it's time to actually do something. And here's a perfect example of an opportunity to do something where they actually violated a law, went way above what is considered decent and lawful. And let's make an example. We should have already made 100,000 examples. But this better be a time where we make an example out of these people. We better not just be more talk. Like, these people need to actually be charged with the FACE Act.
Why are you not going down to Whipple and joining us in protest against this inhumanity? You claim to be a Christian, act like one.
Yeah, this guy's... Christians believe in borders, right? We believe in... as a democracy, we can actually enact laws and then enforce those laws to protect our borders. Christians aren't fucking open border commies, dude. I'm sorry. Not all of them. There are some, weird sects of like very liberal Christian, they're a little shady. But yeah, this guy, when these people get arrested, this guy needs to get the biggest charge, the most time, because he was the worst one, in my opinion. Here's more. With Don Lemon.
This is the beginning of what's going to happen here. When you violate people's due process, when you pull people off the street, you start...
So that's a lie. No one's due process is being violated.
Dragging them and hurting them and not abiding.
The due process for an illegal immigrant goes through an immigration judge. Okay? It doesn't go through the judicial warrant system. It's a different fucking system for citizens and non-citizens, okay? And that's by the Constitution. Constitutionally, it's the federal government's job to manage border policy and enforce border law. But they manipulate reality, and then idiots fall for it on the internet and go, but don't you care about due process?
By the Constitution, when you start doing all of that, people get upset and angry. And if you remember what the civil rights movement was about, the civil rights movement was about
storming into Christian churches and yelling at people who have done nothing wrong. That's what the civil rights movement was about.
These very kinds of protests. There's nothing in the Constitution that tells you what time you can protest. You can protest at any time. That's the whole point of it, is to disrupt, it's to make uncomfortable. And that's what they're doing. And that's what I believe when I say everyone has to be willing to sacrifice something. You have to make people uncomfortable in these times. If you see how uncomfortable people...
So yeah, he's just a journalist covering it. That's all it is. He's just a journalist. Like, I'm just an observer, just documenting what's going on. No, you're not, Don. You're a part of this madness, dude. It's very obvious. From your own words, moron.
Uncomfortably. This is the beginning.
I don't think he knew about the FACE Act. I don't think they realized there was such a thing as the FACE Act when they decided to do this, because I think Don would have acted very differently. Don Lemon tries lecturing a pastor on the First Amendment after a mob of far leftists stormed a church in Minneapolis.
What do you think of this?
I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
But there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
okay, but listen, we live in there's a Constitution and the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
Yeah.
They don't understand how it works, dude. Right? Like, okay, you have a First Amendment, right? Your First Amendment allows you to protest, it allows you to speak. It does not allow you to disrupt the lives of everybody else and infringe on their ability to live their life, right? The First Amendment does not give you the right to block a road. It doesn't give you the right to attack a federal officer. It doesn't give you the right to impede a federal officer. Like, everything just falls under First Amendment. Yeah, if I want to shoot somebody in the face, that's my First Amendment right. No, it's not. The fuck are you, stupid, dude? This is not your First Amendment right. If anything, you're violating their First Amendment right to be able to practice their religion in peace.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus, because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world, is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here.
Did he push him?
That's the hope of the world, is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
Don't push me. Don Lemon is such a fucking pussy, isn't he? Is he just trying to make it look like that guy's like getting aggressive with them so that he can make it look better? Like, the guy just has his hand on
cities. That's the hope of the world, is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here.
This is how they play, man. This is the game they play. There is nothing real or legitimate about these people. They are as fake can get.
We're here to worship Jesus.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Don't push
That's
me.
why we're here.
Don't
That's
push
what we're
me.
about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding?
You don't know shit about Jesus. Jesus, first of all, would throw you in hell for a lot of reasons, Don. I don't think Jesus approves of the homosexual lifestyle. Look, I'm not saying whatever. I live your life. But, I don't think... Let's keep bringing Jesus up in this conversation, dude. I'm telling you, Jesus would open a hole in the ground right now and throw all of you sons of bitches into the pits of hell and not even fucking bat an eye right now. That's what Jesus would do.
We're about worship.
If we're all going to speak for Jesus, right? Let me speak for Jesus. He would throw all of you into hell.
At Spocko2181 super chatted $4.99. Lemon, I have a civil right to violate people's civil rights.
That's exactly what they're doing, Spocko. That's exactly right. It's my First Amendment right to disrupt your fucking right to freely worship in this country. Okay, yeah, okay.
These folks.
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you
Spocko.
try to talk to them as a Christian?
No one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I ask that you actually...
First of all, like, if you guys realize there's a little fear in church right now. Like, people are showing up to churches, or over the last few years, there's been multiple instances of this, of people showing up to churches and shooting people. And I bet you there's a lot of people sitting in these Christian churches right now that have a little bit of fear of that happening. And then these people march in like an unruly mob and start screaming at them. And then there's footage of like parents like consoling their children. The children are crying. The children don't understand what's going on. Fucking disgusting, bro.
Would also leave this building.
You don't want us to
Unless you're here
chronicle
to
what
worship.
happened?
Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship. Okay.
He's a Christian, yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. What do you
He's a Christian. I believe that. I believe that. Yeah, 100%. Don Lemon's a Christian. Don Lemon sees kids fleeing church. It is traumatic for the people, and that's what protesting is about.
Watch this guy.
Making children cry, traumatizing children is what protesting is about.
Here, look, he's hugging his kid. And, you know, I've imagined it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, careful. It's very slippery right here.
Oh,
It's uncomfortable and
please fall on your stupid fucking face, please. Please, if God doesn't make the cameraman fall and wipe out here, then I don't know if I believe in a God
traumatic
anymore.
for the people here. But that's what really, careful, please. Really slippery. Not kidding.
You had the perfect opportunity, God. What were you doing, dude?
That's what protesting is about. And so, watch this guy here. Look, he's hugging his kid.
Yeah. You fucking harassed a bunch of Christians trying to go to church, and you fucking scared the children. Good job. Don Lemon interviews a black woman who led an assault on church. Let me see. Did we
Tell us why you're doing this.
This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We show
we saw
up
this. We'll watch it
somewhere
again.
that is a key location. They don't expect us to come there, and then we disrupt business as usual. So that's what we're about to go do right now.
ICE, baby. Yeah, I wish ICE was there to deport every single one of you losers. So now Don is starting to freak out a little bit because he realizes, oh, we actually did violate a law called the FACE Act, a law that Biden used to prosecute a bunch of pro-life people who went into a clinic and started singing church hymns, and Biden prosecuted them for that. So yeah, he's about to find out. He's about to find out.
MAGA
We're past the fuck around stage, and we're now at the find out stage for Don Lemon.
administration and the fake news MAGAs are losing their mind over something that's not even true. So let me just make it clear, because this assistant attorney general, I don't know, gosh, what's her name? It's something.
Dillard, Harmony or something.
Dillon or whatever. So
We got clips there too.
I have no affiliation to that organization.
Now he's distancing himself. Dude, they invited you to their secret little clandestine operation, which you fucking completely made it clear. Like you were a part of it. But now, oh, I'm not a part of it. I'm just documenting. I'm just a journalist.
I didn't even know they were going to this church until we followed them there. We were there chronicling protests. Once the protest started.
Yeah, you just happened to show up to a secret fucking clandestine operation, Don. You just happened to show up. No, they invited you there. Clearly, this lady was on your show. She communicated with what they were going to do, and they thought it'd be good to have a journalist there to document it. Thank God they did. Thank God.
Started in the church, we did an act of journalism, which was report on it and talk to the people who were involved, which included the pastor, members of the church, and members of the organization. That's it. It's called journalism. First Amendment, all that stuff. For all of you people who believe in the First Amendment, absolutist, there you go. So why don't you talk to the actual person who is in charge of the organization and whose idea it was to have the protest at the church before you start.
Sure, he's throwing his friends under the bus now. He's like, don't arrest me, arrest the lady who put. Now, I hope both of you get arrested, Don.
Blaming me for stuff.
Maybe they can go light on you, Don, but I think you definitely. I think you should have charges, bro.
For which you have no idea. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Like, if you're a journalist, is it okay to just like march into a mass, a church in session, and then just start sticking microphones into people's faces and interviewing them and disrupting their church? But it's First Amendment. Everything's First Amendment, guys. It's my First Amendment to do anything I want. The FACE Act, most commonly referred to the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, is a U.S. federal law enacted in 1994 and signed by President Bill Clinton. They did this to stop the pro-lifers from protesting at health clinics. It is codified, blah, 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 blah. Here's the details. Use force, threat of force, or physical obstruction to intentionally injure, intimidate, or interfere or attempt to do so with someone obtaining or providing reproductive health services, which includes abortion, contraception, pregnancy counseling, fertility treatments, and related medical services. Keeps going, though. Use force, threat of force, or physical obstruction to interfere with someone exercising their First Amendment right to religious freedom at a place of worship. Intentionally damage or destroy property of a facility providing reproductive health care services or a place of religious worship. So essentially, this one right here: use force, threat of force, or physical obstruction to interfere with someone exercising their First Amendment right to religious freedom at a place of worship. This is a no-brainer that this was violated. It's a no fucking brainer. You'd have to be an idiot not to understand that this fits perfectly into what they just did. They obstructed, they interfered with the church from exercising their First Amendment right to religious freedom at a place of worship. So 100%, it's a violation of the FACE Act, okay? Violations can result in criminal penalties with harsher penalties for repeat offenses, bodily injury, or death, and civil remedies such as injunctions or damages. The law was passed in response to a wave of violence, blockades, bombings, and harassments targeting abortion clinics in the 80s and 1990s. It's funny that law is now coming back to bite him in the ass. It's kind of funny. So yeah, I asked, it sounds like Don Lemon and the protesters who stormed that church yesterday in Minnesota would be in violation. Yes, based on reports of the incident at City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota, often referred to as Minneapolis area, on Sunday, January 18th, the actions of the protesters and potentially Don Lemon's involvement could raise questions under the FACE Act. The FACE Act protects places of religious worship by making it a federal crime to use force, threat of force, or physical obstruction to intentionally injure, intimidate, or interfere with or attempt to do so someone's exercise of religious freedom at a place of worship. This includes disrupting services or damaging property. Penalties can include fines, imprisonment up to several years. Oh boy, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. More if injury occurs in civil liability. I'm sure they'll probably just hit them with fines. But, I mean, can we make an example? At a certain point, you have to make an example, right? You have to let other people sitting on the sidelines know if you behave this way, there are consequences to your actions. Because right now, I don't think they believe there are. Because they have a city that will defend them. But I don't know. At a certain point, people have to know there are consequences. And if the federal government's got to come in and deliver those consequences, then I guess federal government's got to do what's got to do. Don Lemon is having a total meltdown after being called out for his complicity in the anti-ICE church raid in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Fake right-wing propaganda news alert from this supposed right-angle news network, that I led a protest into a church this morning in Minneapolis. That is complete BS.
No, but you did obstruct and interfere with their ability to practice their First Amendment right to worship. You definitely did that, Don. Right? Well, but I was just there to document. No, you were there interfering. You were there fucking with their First Amendment right to freedom of religion. It's clear as day, Don.
First of all, I had no idea who the organization was until I arrived this morning.
Lies. You did that interview saying you had already talked to her on her show. You clearly have a relationship with the lady who ran this, and she gave you a heads up so you could be there.
And number two, that's what every journalist should be doing. Exactly.
Well, I didn't know that we were going to murder the guy when I showed up at the crime scene. I just thought we were going to hang out. It doesn't matter. They murdered him, and then you helped bury the body. But I didn't know we were there to marry somebody and bury the body. I didn't know that. It doesn't matter at this point.
What I did was report, chronicle, and commit an act of journalism, which is what every journalist should be doing. That's what happened. So if you really want to know the truth about what happened, why don't you check it out at the Don Lemon Show on YouTube, on Substack, and on Twitch. And follow us on any of our socials if you really want to know the truth rather than getting some right-wing.
If you want to know the truth, basically you want to be gaslit and lied to the whole time. Yeah, tune into Don. If you want to be lied to, tune into Don.
This is the beginning of what's going to happen here. When you violate people's due process, when you pull people off the street and you start dragging them and hurting them and not abiding by the Constitution.
It's 100% Constitution abiding. It's 100%. They just spin reality and then like people fall for it.
When you start doing all...
The saddest part is like the people on the right who should know better, especially after 2020, after all they did was lie and gaslight and fucking bullshit. And you're still falling for it? You're still falling for their emotional manipulation? Like, how weak-minded are you, dude, at this point?
All of that, people get upset and angry. And if you remember what the civil rights movement was about, the civil rights movement was about these very kinds of protests.
So here he is co-signing it very clearly. Oh, this is what happens when you don't follow due process. Oh, they did follow due process. There's an immigration judge with a court order. And then that court order, ICE will then enforce by going to deport somebody. That is the due process that's due to non-citizens who are illegally in the country. Oh, it's so hard for you guys to understand for some reason. Assistant AG Harmeet Dillon announces the DOJ is investigating the left-wing insurrection of a Christian Minneapolis church. Okay, great. Investigate. You should be done with the investigation. People should be getting locked up already.
This is the beginning of what's going to happen here. When you think that in order...
Yeah, we saw that clip already. It seems like they're pretty serious about it, though. The Civil Rights is investigating the potential violations of the Federal FACE Act by these people desecrating a house of worship and interfering with Christian worshipers.
Justice for Renee! 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 We need justice! We need justice!
Yeah. These people, their religion is communism. That's their religion. They worship fucking wokeness, bro. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in Jesus. Anti-ICE protesters are now turning to churches in Minneapolis. Let's see, is this one we haven't seen yet?
Renee good! Renee good! Renee good! Renee good! Justice for Renee good! Justice for Renee good!
They're trying to make this into another George Floyd rallying thing. It's not working. Okay? It's not working. Honestly, at this point, people are like, why isn't Trump doing anything? Why isn't Trump? I think Trump might be thinking the old saying, you know, never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. That may be what's going on with Trump. But I don't know if that's the right strategy right now. To me, we have the power, okay? We have the ability fucking take action while we can and shut these motherfuckers down. Stop pushing the ball down the road, because it's this is what we deal with now. And in 10 years, I mean, they're going around right now. Like, I got footage of it in Minnesota. They're fucking trying to lynch people that are just wearing the wrong clothes. Like, this guy had a jacket with an American flag that said freedom. And they literally were going to beat him up to make him take off his jacket. But the dude just gave in to the mob. They're going around attacking people. Like, there's these tech workers who they thought were ICE, who then got attacked, and I think one of them got hurt pretty bad, although I didn't get footage of that. They're acting like a fucking zombie army, dude. Like, they're when I tell you why I hate mobs, they're showing you why I hate mobs. I don't care if it's a right-wing mob, a left-wing mob. Anytime you have a mob that starts getting a little out of control, the danger is off the charts for like regular ass people, because that mob, once they open the door to violence, look out, dude. Look out.
Hands up! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
See, a lot of the people at the church just got up and walked out. Like, what can they do? Church is over. We've just been taken over by a bunch of deranged communists. Here's more Lemon freaking out. He knows he's fucked up.
This is an operation.
He knows he's
That is secret, that they invited folks out.
This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We show up somewhere.
Yeah, we saw this already. I mean, Don's trying to pretend like he doesn't know. Well, let's watch this. Let's watch this then. Because there's some of the interviews inside the church.
We disrupt business as usual.
I had no idea what was going on, guys. I just showed up.
So right now it's kind of mayhem. We're not part of the activists, but we're here just reporting on them.
Sure.
Did they explain to you why they're here?
They did not.
They said that there is someone here in Easterwood, who is a member of ICE, and he's a pastor of the church.
I think there was a leak that came from within the government where they leaked a lot of the names of people who work with ICE. And I think that might be where this came from. And there's a name in the document that matches the name of a pastor or something like that. And who knows if it's even the same guy? I mean, who cares though? At the end of the day, just because somebody works with ICE and goes to this church, that doesn't give you the right to do this, dude.
Our church had gathered for worship, which we do every Sunday. We asked them to leave, and they.
What the First Amendment is about the freedom to protest.
There's varying array of views in this church on politics of immigration. Recognize the complexity of the issue.
This shows you just how divided America is. When you look at the protesters here, and then you look at the people there who are praying, and you know what was the interesting thing? If these two groups could just get together, they might figure out what to do.
I don't necessarily agree with everything that's going on in the Twin Cities right now.
You can't get together with a bunch of commies, bro. You have to follow what they tell you. And if you don't, then you're evil. You're a Nazi. The moment you step outside of what they want you to do, you have to walk exactly how they want you to walk, talk exactly how all the talking points, they have to be approved. If you say the wrong thing, these are the fucking most anti-freedom people out there, bro.
But I don't think it's good to fight fire with fire. I think it's good to speak up.
But if you're one of these people in this church and you've fallen for the emotional bullshit, but Jesus would never do this. This is not Christ. And this doesn't wake you up to the reality of I got to stop listening to these people. They're fucking insane. I don't know what will.
I think it's good to protest, but I think it's better to do it in a peaceful way.
Yeah, that was interesting to watch. This guy here, look, he's hugging his kid. And
yeah. Don Lemon, piece of shit. Actually, he's retard of the day. We'll play retard of the day song in a second here. Don Lemon on church members upset that he stormed their church. They're entitled white supremacists. Of course. And anybody that has a problem with Don, they're racist. That's what they are, right? Right.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country.
So not only did you go and fuck up their Sunday worship, you're now just calling them all white supremacists. They're just all white supremacists.
When
okay,
actually
Don.
We left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%, but it's an intimidation tactic. And, I said, I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. I do understand that I'm the biggest name there. And I'm also, as I was on with my producers this morning,
because,
you and
Don, because the act that you engaged in, whether you were acting as a journalist or not, was interfering with their ability to practice their First Amendment right to freedom of worship, which you interfered with, okay? Doesn't matter if you have a microphone and a camera, Don, you still interfered, bro. That's still a violation of the FACE Act, you idiot.
Kylie talk all the time. My producers were saying, I said, how did...
A retard of the day, Don Lemon. There's going to be more of these, I'm sure. That's you, Don. Congratulations. Congratulations, Don. I'm sure he'll win this award again. This probably will not be the last time Don's going to win this award.
How did I become the face of this? And my producer said, Don, you're a gay black man in America.
It's all victim mentality, bro. Oh, the church people have a problem? Oh, because they're white supremacists. Why are they mad at me? Oh, it's because you're gay and they hate gay people. Okay, dude. God, they're so see-through.
Spocko2181 super chatted $4.99. Invades church, calls propal tacist, wonders why people are divided.
Yeah, well, this is why we're divided, because these people are really good at lying and manipulating people. So people that are just too low information to fucking be able to see through it, they just fall for the emotional manipulation. What about child that's crying and this is woman, she got deported and they're not even following due process and blah blah blah. And it's all just based on lies. But that emotional manipulation always seems to work, even with people that should know better, like Joe Rogan. Love you, Joe, but Jesus, can you stop falling for these idiots? Can you stop falling for the fucking lying idiots, dude? I'm glad you saw through it in COVID, but maybe you could see through it now, because it's the same people doing the same things which is lying their fucking ass off and trying to emotionally manipulate people. But Joe just keeps falling for it. God bless Joe. Hopefully he'll wake up. DOJ says federal prosecutors are touching down any minute in Minnesota to pursue charges against Don Lemon and left-wing Marxists who illegally stormed a Christian church. Oh, let's see.
Can you give me an update?
Don't tease me on this one, please. No teasing. Let's get it done.
On this post-Harmeet.
Well, yes, actually, I posted that from an airplane, and Pam Bondi and I, my boss, had already been in touch about this incident, what we're going to do about it. And so I'm working hand in hand with her. We have sent federal prosecutors last night from my office in D.C. to Minnesota. They should be landing any moment now. We activated the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office as well. And this has the highest attention of the Attorney General and my Department of Justice team, because it is, as you said in your intro, this isn't actually a question of whether we're going to stand for it. We don't stand for it in this country. And not every case that we do at the DOJ gets the headlines, but we've already prosecuted numerous attacks on churches so far in the last 9 months since I took office under Pam Bondi's leadership. We are investigating multiple attacks on synagogues. It is evil to attack any house of worship in America. It is illegal. And what I saw yesterday made me ashamed, frankly, for the United States, that we have an attorney general in Minnesota, Keith Ellison, a district attorney, Mary Moriarty, a mayor, Jacob Fry, and Tim Waltz, Tampon Tim, who absolutely refuse to enforce our state laws. Their own state laws prohibit this very conduct. Well, if they're not going to enforce their laws, we will enforce our federal law.
Well, it's not useful for the grift.
At Andrew Wilson 760 super chatted $2. Whitey people are the devil, goes home to whitey husband.
Yeah, I don't think they really, like, people like Dom, they're not the useful idiots. They are the really, really evil types who just lie and manipulate because they want an end result, and they're willing to lie to get to that end result. He's one of the biggest pieces of shit out there, Don Lemon. But yeah, if they reverse the roles, do you think the state of Minnesota wouldn't be pressing charges if it was a bunch of white MAGA types that went into a woke left-wing church and did the same thing? They would probably all be in jail already. Fucking Tim Waltz would wait like 5 seconds before having all these people arrested and rounded up and fucking have a press conference about how racist everybody is, and like, but they can't do that, so they're just going to ignore it, and it's going to be up to the federal government to actually do something in this case.
And we are already doing that. And so, as you know, and as people have said, the prior administration prosecuted people under the FACE Act for peacefully praying outside abortion clinics where unborn children were being killed inside. Now, that's protected by federal law. That's up to Congress. However, that same law gives us the right at the Department of Justice to prosecute the same kind of conduct vis-a-vis any house of worship. And there's been a lot of talk of the First Amendment thrown around. The First Amendment.
I feel Holden Dansock, he says, you know, the stupidity out there is getting hard to deal with. I feel you, Holden Dansock. It's frustrating. Like, you probably might need to take some time off from X. I know I do. Because you go on X and it's just people just lying their ass off, dude, about the ICE situation, just taking everything out of context to just create a false narrative that's going to try to rally people to their cause. And, you know, once you see through the lies, it doesn't get better. It just makes you more angry about it. You start to get like, what are we going to do about this? Like, people can just lie with impunity about everything, completely mislead the public to act against their own interest. And we just got to sit here and put up with it. You know, and then you try to the people that try to like set the record straight and really like address reality, like they get pushed to the side for the people that are just lying their ass off. Like, again, one thing that Trump needs to do that will help combat this issue is to really start getting serious about unmasking these algorithms and figuring out how they work. Okay, especially on left-wing sites like TikTok. Do it on X too, but TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We need to see how these algorithms are working. And we have to have people that know how algorithms work so they can go in and actually know what to look for and figure out, okay, how is the algorithm surfacing content? Is it fair, or is it pushing a biased fucking narrative? Is it purposely pushing fucking lies because it fits the left-wing agenda? Like, I'm sorry, people have to understand how much these algorithms control how people think and how people see the world. And if they're being used to fucking pollute the minds of the population, then yeah, that needs to be addressed, because it shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't. Should you be forcing things on people? No, you shouldn't be forcing things on people. If we're going to have algorithms, they should be fucking open source, obvious for everybody to see, like, how it works. Not some black box hidden behind the scenes that we have no idea what's going on. That shit's got to come to an end.
Includes the right to pray without interference. It includes the right of these people to not have so-called journalists and a mob of activists disrupt their sacred day of prayer. And so, as far as I can tell, these very foolish people have already, many of them, self-identified online as to who they were. They posted who their accomplices were. Don Lemon has made numerous admissions online as to his participation here and his intention and his knowledge of what was going to happen inside that sacred place. And so we're gathering the facts, and there will be action here. I know people are frustrated. Where are the arrests, et cetera? Let me explain that for you and your team, Benny, because state prosecutors could have arrested some of these people yesterday. They don't have some of the same hurdles that we do in the DOJ. When DOJ, we get...
But they're not going to, man. It's good. Okay, put pressure and expose, like, why aren't state prosecutors doing it? They don't care about the law, dude. They don't care about the law when it comes to borders. They don't care about the laws when it comes to trying to deport people that are here illegally. You think they're going to care about this law? They just use the laws when they fit, like when they help them to, you know, push an agenda. That's all they care about. They don't, like, it's time for the federal government to get serious. Insurrection Act should have been already fucking enacted. Like, we have to be serious about enforcing the law when it comes to border security, when it comes to deportations. And if there's people out there disrupting the ability for the federal government to enact the laws that have been passed, legally passed by the citizens of this country, then we got to put a stop to that. We got to fucking do it. We got to actually start enforcing the laws. But I don't know. I think, again, Trump thinks he's smart, and he's like, oh, I'm not going to interrupt them because they're making themselves look bad. I don't know if that's the case, man. I don't know. If you go off the algorithms, like, these people seem to be the majority right now. That's what it looks like when you go on the internet. It's all fucking everywhere you look. It's these fucking people dominating with their bullshit. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if sitting back and just letting them make mistakes is the right answer at this point.
There are facts. We go to a federal judge. A federal judge has to issue the search warrants. We all know what the federal judges are doing right now in Minnesota. We will pursue charges in this case. I see.
Okay. I want to see it. I don't want to. We should be done talking about it at this point and just get it done. CNN admits disrupting a church service on private property can be prosecuted. Oh, wow. Really? Really?
Attorney General Pam Bondi posted on social media and appeared to call this the intimidation of Christians, saying, quote, if state leaders refuse to act responsibly to prevent lawlessness, this Department of Justice will remain mobilized to prosecute federal crimes and ensure that the rule of law prevails. So what is...
Oh, yeah, of course, dude. No doubt.
At CyberTwitch super chatted $4.99. If people on the right did this to an abortion clinic, they'd have all been arrested already.
Yeah, I mean, they have been in the past. Biden did it during Biden's term. Yeah, dude, there would already be a press conference. There'd be the whole news fucking cycle would be nothing but like right-wing racist and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, they would jump on this so quick and make it a national headline. But we just sit there, our side just sits there and talks about it. Like, oh, yeah, we're investigating.
the law the DOJ could use to prosecute these protesters?
Well, interestingly, it could also sort of fall into the civil rights category as well, that the rights of these individuals in the church to practice their religion are being impeded by these protesters. And so the Justice Department could potentially look at whether the activities these individuals are engaging in goes beyond what there would be their protected activities. You know, this all comes in the environment, Pamela, of the court order that was issued by federal judge in Minnesota last Friday, limiting activities that ICE agents could do with respect to protesters. Justice Department now, it sounds, is coming down with a different way that they want to engage in protection of civil rights, protection of First Amendment activities in particular.
And again, First Amendment activities give protesters the right to make their voices heard, peaceful assembly, right, on public property, but it's different when you get into private property.
Yeah, it's different when you block the streets as well. Like, that's the thing they always fucking ignore. Okay, you have your protest. Okay, great. Are you on the sidewalk? No, you're taking up the street and you're blocking the fucking street. If you did that in my city, I would fucking bring in the stick boys, beat the living shit out of every single one of you, and lock you up and hit you with the book.
Right.
Especially at this point. You know, maybe at the beginning you gave them a little leeway. At this point, no. Bring out the stick boys, whoop their fucking ass, and lock them up.
Different on private property. This is their First Amendment right to engage in their religion. The protesters, are allowed to engage in their activity. But yes, private places have an ability to not have that type of activity in their place. And the question that we're coming to is, how is law enforcement going to protect the rights of protesters to engage in their First Amendment protected activity, at the same time not be intimidating other people for whatever rights they are?
Yeah, we're gonna give me a break, dude. Who gives a fuck about these lunatic protesters, bro? Oh, it's my First Amendment right to protest and disrupt everything. Fuck you, dude. First of all, what you're protesting for is a fucking lie in the first place. I don't give a fuck about your right to protest at this point. Get the fuck off my street. Don Lemon, you know what? Now Don Lemon's just totally crashing out. He's just totally crashing
Donald
out.
Trump, fuck you. Just fuck all the way off. What an asshole and a small-minded.
This must be an old clip. This is him mad about Trump's message about Rob Reiner, which, by the way, I do agree. Trump could have had a better message after Reiner died. It was kind of there are times Trump needs to hold back a little bit,
Small dick shit to do. Like, you have no couth. You are an immature child. You are a bigot, a fucking racist, and a small penis asshole.
Which is worse, to be a bigot, a racist, or a small penis asshole? Which one's worse in Don Lemon's book? Yeah, this one got thrown in here, but this is old shit. This is not from the current time, so we'll move on. Nicki Minaj, I don't know if you guys saw, but Nicki Minaj was like at a Turning Point USA event. She's apparently very, very to the right. And she was not happy. She's also a Christian, and she was not happy with Don. As you can see her message here. Don cocksucking Lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. Nicki Minaj, you're winning me over. I'm going to become a Nicki Minaj fan.
People have been asking me about responding to Nicki Minaj's unhinged, homophobic tweet about me. I usually don't respond to this stuff, but let me just say this. Nicki Minaj, stop talking about shit for which you know nothing about. This is out of your depth, by the way, and you are...
Is he mansplaining right now? Are you doing a mansplaining, Don Lemon? To be honest, I think Nicki Minaj is probably more intelligent than you are, Don. Okay? Well, actually, I don't know. Don comes across as stupid, but I don't really think Don is stupid. I think he knows what he's doing.
Homophobic, bigot. You don't care about African Americans. You're not an African American.
She's not an African American. Are you sure she's not an African American? This seems kind of racist, Don.
From what I know, you are reportedly an undocumented citizen, so you should be deported under Donald Trump's rules. And the other thing is that your family members, you have one family member who is reportedly a sex offender, the other family member, your husband or whatever, a sex offender is your husband, and one of them is reportedly a pedophile. And you have nerve to talk about me and what you think that I do? Nicki Minaj, get a life. Stop being a pick-me. You should have put a pick-me doll on that damn tweet instead of a Chucky doll, because you are nothing but a pick-me.
This is what they do. You catch them being retards, you point out that they're retards, and then they start attacking everything except for the actual thing that's like at the heart of the discussion here, which is You just went into a church, you fucking raided a church and intimidated a bunch of churchgoers from being able to express their First Amendment right to freely worship whatever religion they choose. But yeah, let's make it about she's a pick-me. I don't know, somebody was a pedophile that she's connected. Make it about everything but the actual heart of the matter here, Don, which is what you did, and hopefully we'll be going to prison soon for it. Hopefully.
And I choose not to pick you. And so should black people, and so should gay people. Shouldn't buy your music. Clock that.
It's funny because Don is trying so hard to grift, and I don't even know if it works. I don't think his people even like him. Visibly concerned, Don Lemon asked Minnesota AG Keith Ellison for his 2 cents on possible KKK Act charges. People were talking about the KKK Act. That sounds great, right? Like the KKK Act sounds better than the FACE Act if we could actually get him with that. But I mean, the FACE Act fits perfectly. What are we talking about?
Can you talk to us about, now, DL was joking about it, saying he's never been on next to a Klansman, but what is this KKK Act, Mr. Attorney General?
Yeah, so the KKK Act is when
this is Keith Ellison, dude, one of the most corrupt pieces of shit
people
out
will
there.
use the threat of force and violence or force of violence to deny you your human rights, your civil rights under the color of law. And so this is, I mean, look, it's a wild stretch and inappropriate. And the FACE Act, by the way, is designed to protect the rights of people seeking their reproductive rights.
Clearly, you didn't read the whole act, did you? Clearly, you didn't.
To be protected, and so that people, for a religious reason, cannot just use religion to break into women's reproductive health.
Obviously, you quit reading because it says use force, threat of force, or physical obstruction to interfere with someone exercising their First Amendment right to religious freedom at a place of worship. But again, they're lying.
Centers.
Lying by omission.
Right? So how they are stretching either of these laws to apply to people who protested in a church over the behavior or the perceived behavior of a...
In the KKK Act, most commonly referring to the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871, is a major U.S. federal civil rights law officially titled An Act to Enforce the Provisions of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. It is also known as the Third Enforcement Act, Civil Rights Act of 1871. Sometimes it gives me too much information. Let's get to the point. It was one of the 3 enforcement acts designed to combat widespread violence and intimidation by the Ku Klux Klan and other white supremacist groups in the South. These groups terrorized newly freed Black Americans and their white allies to prevent them from exercising constitutional rights such as voting, holding office, serving on juries, enjoying equal protection of the laws under the 14th Amendment. Key provisions made it a federal crime for private individuals, not just state actors, to conspire to deprive others of their constitutional rights through violence, threats, intimidation, or force. Yeah, I could see how that could apply a little bit because you are affecting their First Amendment right to freely worship. So yeah, I mean, let's hit them with both. Let's double charges: the FACE Act and the KKK Act.
Of a religious leader is beyond me.
Hit them in the face with the KKK Act, bro.
But they don't mind stretching these days.
All of it. Just all of it.
How do they have under investigation Jerome Powell, head of the Fed, James Comey, Letitia James, Mark Kelly, who's a U.S. senator, who said that soldiers can disobey illegal orders, and now you got Walls and Frey. We are in the age where the president and the Department of Justice do not care about true legality. They care about using the criminal justice system as a weapon.
See, this is what pisses me off, right? People in the middle are like, oh, the right and the left are the same. No, they're not. You're just falling for the left's bullshit. Like what he just described there is what they have been doing for fucking ever now. Is the right completely innocent and free of all? No, of course not. But both sides, people, I'm sick of you fucking retards at this point. Both sides. Which side is out in the streets disrupting citizens, going up to citizens, fucking forcing them to take off shirts because they got the American flag? Which side is listening to Chinese communists telling them to go fucking target people with American flags at their home? Which side actually loves this country? Which side hates this country? The both sides shit is fucking retarded at this point, and it's an easy way out for people that don't want to choose a side and don't want to get attacked. Right? I don't want to be attacked on the internet, so I'm just going to be like, both sides suck. both sides do suck to a certain degree. One side is the real problem right now. One side is a million fucking times worse because you're too much of a pussy to take a side. Then you're just gonna be like, oh, but they're both bad, both sides. You're a pussy.
So I think that the FACE Act and the KKK Act are on their face inapplicable, and so it doesn't make sense.
It is absolutely applicable. Do I need to read it again? By the law, it's very applicable. It actually points out exactly what you guys did as being a violation of the FACE Act. So again, it doesn't matter. They're just lying to their own people. This is what they always do. They just lie to their own people and gaslight their own people all day. And, they'll just fall for it because they're idiots.
To me, I've been a lawyer for 35 years. So that's my 2 cents on that, bro.
Well, I appreciate your 2 cents on that, Mr. Attorney General. There, some of the protesters.
You might want to get an actual lawyer to actually read the FACE Act and not just go off of this dumbass leftist piece of shit that's just going to lie to you, Don. Because you're going to be in big trouble. Get a lawyer, dude. I suggest get an actual lawyer right now who can take the time to actually read the FACE Act, Don. That's what you need.
Well, not directly, but a friend of a protester reached out and said they're concerned. How concerned should these protesters be about being charged?
They should be very concerned. Very, very concerned.
In the age of Trump, everybody better be concerned. I mean, like I said, in the age of Trump, you got Tish James, James Comey, Jerome Powell, Mark Kelly, and the mayor of Minneapolis and the governor of, these are clearly engaged in legal activity. So I would not tell anybody, oh, don't worry about that. That's an idle threat.
Yeah, because Trump bad. No, because actually you violated the FACE Act. That's why you should be worried. But, it's because Trump is so dangerous. Okay.
I believe you will be vindicated. I will believe you will get justice. But between the moment that they try to arrest you or investigate you and when you're finally set free, I think you ought to take them seriously. I do.
Retards. Yeah. Just keep lying, bro. I mean, do I need to read the FACE Act again? Go look it up. If you missed the part of the show where I read out what the FACE Act is, go look it up. Okay. This is clearly a violation of the FACE Act to go and intimidate, disrupt, people's ability to practice their religion, right? You can't go into a church and shut it down in the middle of a fucking church, okay? You can't do that. That's a violation of the FACE Act. Now, some of you were like, why don't you like Andrew? Blah, 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 blah. Andrew Callahan is a piece of shit, okay? Back in the day when he made little documentaries where he'd go and like interview these weird people and make them look stupid, I recognized the comedy of it, but I also kind of felt bad because I could recognize the editing. As somebody who does edits like that, when I do them, I just try to keep it comedy and not to be taken seriously. Whereas when Andrew does it, he makes it to where people think that that's really reality, right? That's the difference. And I said, look, if I was Nick Shirley, I would not have gone on Andrew Callahan's show. But Nick Shirley was smart. And he brought his own little secret camera to record the whole interview. And from the 2 hours and 40 something minutes that they talked, it was cut down to an hour. And it seems like Andrew's afraid of his audience. I think there's a lot of people afraid of these leftists. They get audience captured and then like they can't really speak their mind anymore. And anything they put out has to please the far left crazies in their audience. But yeah, Alex Jones was covering it. There's some clips as to like how the editing was done where like Andrew was actually agreeing with Nick Shirley, but he cuts that out because that's going to piss his audience off. But yeah, Andrew Callahan is a piece of shit. I'm sorry. If you like him, great. Go watch him. Have fun. But he's a piece of shit. And he's using old school editing tactics to manipulate shit. I would never sit down for an interview with somebody like this. Now, I'm not saying editing, just because you edit an interview equals bad. Because to me, I'll edit an interview. But am I going to edit an interview to like make somebody seem like they said something they didn't say or to like present something that's misleading? No, you can edit it and like shorten it, but also still keep the spirit of the actual interview in place. But he doesn't do that.
So the other week, I sat down with Andrew Callahan in Channel 5 to do a sit-down podcast-style interview for his channel. And when he goes and posts the video, I see he just posted an hour-long interview. I said, well, that's weird, because we actually spoke for
the 2 hours and 43 minutes.
Around 2.5 hours. And then
so I honestly, on the surface, I have no problem if you want to do a 3, because to me, for entertainment factor, if you want to record for 5 hours and then cut that down into 1 hour of the most entertaining shit of that 5 hours to make it easier to watch and shit, I have no problem with that. But when you do that, you have an ability to really mislead and present a false narrative of the interview, for lack of a better way of putting it. So you have to really trust the person doing that, because this is the old school tactic. This is what Megyn Kelly did to Alex Jones. This is what 60 Minutes has been doing to people forever. Essentially, I mean, it's even worse when it's 60 Minutes. Like, they'll sit down, they'll do 3 days of interviews and cut that down into
Freeman
a 30-minute
super
interview.
chatted $10. DL bought intern David from Opie and Anthony Arizab and Tizig's session back in the day. He was hilarious then. Now, boo.
I don't remember, dude. I mean, I know back in the day, Don was kind of a little more based, right? Like he as time went on, he became more of just a deranged leftist. But that was the media landscape that he was in. Like, if you wanted to survive on like CNN, MSNBC, NBC, CBS, you had to be crazy levels of woke. And everything had to be fucking propaganda to please that left-wing woke audience. So, like a lot of people, a lot of ladder climbers, they have no morals. They'll do whatever it takes to climb that ladder. And Don did. And yeah, so he's still doing it.
When I go and watch the interview,
But if Don all of a sudden saw that, like, the right, like if he was to say the opposite of what he says and he could have more success, he would flip on a dime real quick. But he's kind of locked into his current trajectory
saying, well, what is this? This is.
Thank you for the 10, Freeman. Much appreciated, brother. Links are in the description. If you want to support the show, please smash the thumbs up. I think we're at 56 likes. If you're enjoying the show, you want to see it get out to more people. This show has a hard time getting out to people because YouTube absolutely hates me. Thumbs up will definitely help, as well as supporting with super chats and all that. It's much appreciated, guys.
Not what happened. For instance, this clip right here.
Good, brother.
What American city is prospering right now? Austin. Name another one. El Paso, Texas.
Austin's prospering, yeah. I mean, I guess by I'm sure you can point to specific metrics and go, oh, look, it is prospering more, but I don't want to go to Austin. Not prospering to me, bro.
It's prospering?
Yeah. Nashville's doing good. Phoenix is doing good. Basically, any place with low state tax is getting a lot of.
In any place that's not Democrat.
I don't know about that. I mean,
name a Democrat city that's prospering right now.
Well, it would have to be one that's affordable.
Name one.
He's so scared of his own audience.
At Freeman 3 super chatted $5. No. DL Hewley. Lol.
Are you talking about DL Hewley? Why are we talking about DL Hewley? I thought DL stood for Don Lemon. Are we talking about you got me confused now, Freeman. Why are we talking about DL Hewley?
Denver.
I don't know. I'm lost.
Why are you smirking? It's not prospering. All right, so that's a clip Andrew
So the cuts are pretty obvious to see.
Posted, but this is the actual interaction of how it went.
Denver.
Why are you smirking?
Because I don't know if it's prospering.
It's not. See, you can't even answer the question. It's not prospering. Denver's not prospering either.
I agree that Democrat-run states are doing badly.
Oh. And he cuts that part out. Why does he cut that out? Because he knows if he says that, he's going to have an uprising with his audience. Dude, I've seen it so many times. Left-wing people like Andrew, the moment they say the wrong thing to their left-wing audience, they will turn on them. And it is so ugly. So these dudes are so terrified.
Kind of weird that Andrew didn't put that in, right? Maybe his base or something would not be happy with that response because he obviously got caught lying. I understand if he wants to cut down the interview to make, but you don't cut out
other
key
answers, other questions, and sandwich them together. That's fraud.
Exactly. That's the whole purpose of what I try to show. I'm like, okay, don't go out and try to make me look bad and then not.
I'm glad Alex is finally rallying against Andrew, because I remember when Andrew did his interview with Alex, that was it came out before, it came out a little bit before I interviewed Alex. And I brought it up to Alex, and Alex seemed like he didn't want to say anything bad about Andrew. And I was like, that guy's a piece of shit, dude. He's a total piece of shit. So I don't know. I think Alex is holding out hope with Andrew or something.
Not show your fault as well. That's the whole purpose of doing a podcast, to do an interview, is to have an open dialogue conversation.
And he's there agreeing you're right, but cutting it out. But here's the deal. The arrogance.
Exactly.
You're way bigger than he is. The left still thinks they can say Toomey can have a baby, attack somebody, say somebody else did it, say the woman that got killed, good, didn't show up, didn't ram the car. They just still act like no one can check them. Like, what does Callahan think now? You're 10 times bigger than him, 20 times. Like, he did. I love how he picked somebody that's super viral and has a giant audience to lie about. I mean,
because Nick seems like he's an idiot, okay? I like Nick Shirley, but people out there can have the impression that Nick is not very smart. I don't think Nick is stupid at all. I think he's not the best speaker. It happens to me. You get a little muddle mouth sometimes. Some of us are not the best speakers. We get muddle mouthed, and then people think you're stupid. And I think people think Nick is stupid when he's really just not the best public speaker. And I think Andrew thought he could take advantage of him.
What is his problem?
Yeah, very disingenuous on his part to do that. And like I said, I don't want any internet drama or anything, but people deserve to see the truth.
Callahan, years and years ago, came here, and he'd done a comedy show online. He said, you like comedy? I want to do a comedy show where we lift weights and we drink Jamesons and we act stupid. And he had a comedy show, and I said, sure. 2 years after he's here,
yeah, Alex had a big old gut back then, man.
He releases it and says it's real. Now, with you, he went even further, and you were smart enough to record the whole interview where you answered all his questions.
So he did all this to Alex, and then at the end, he flies over to fucking Maine or wherever they were having the Sandy Hook trial, and then he interviews all these people who just fucking lie about Alex. It all became a hit piece, dude. And I don't know. I already kind of didn't like Andrew because I knew Andrew was associated with Vic Berger. He was associated with the, Tim and Eric, the fucking retards of Tim and Eric. Like, once you know somebody's associated with them, forget about it, dude. Forget about it, dude. You know they're going to be a crazy left-wing fucking lunatic. And Andrew is, he's following suit.
You were right. He edits it. We have a little clip of this to show in a moment to make you look like an idiot. And it just shows what a monster he is with the left. And he's all jacked to the Democratic Party. I know he's hooked in with the Democrats and their lawsuits against me. He did disinfo against me. So I want to just tell everybody, do not be associated with him. Do not work with him. He is a total snake. And he's got this little, nerdly fake act and everything. It's all an act. The guy is super bad news. Tell us before we play this clip of what your experience was with this person.
Yeah, I was super surprised because I used to watch Andrew when I was younger, and he's one of the people who kind of inspired me to kind of get into the more investigative journalism stuff. And so I had met him a while back, about 2 years ago. We talked, and then I had met him before. I even had dinner with him once. And then after all this stuff happened, he reached out to me to come interview me. And I said, yeah, of course.
Which makes it worse. He gets your confidence.
Yeah, exactly. So I had mutual respect for him, and I knew he had different beliefs politically than me, but okay, well, it'd be an interesting conversation. And so I sit down with him. We do this interview for about 2.5 hours, and then he posted an interview, and it's only an hour long. I was like, well, that's weird. We talked for about 2.5 hours, and I thought it was a podcast. So in podcasts, you typically keep the full interview inside the video. And then he posted the interview, and I'm watching the clips. I'm seeing the reaction. I'm like, well, that's not how the conversation went. Like, I understand it was not my best.
So let's be clear. You show the proof. You were smart enough to record it. Even though you said you trusted him, he splices totally different answers together in fraud to do this to you. This is what they do. That's what Trump gets pissed off about. So I said to Trump, why do you talk to CBS? What do you think they're going to do? But the point is, he said he was your friend. He did this. Have you talked to him since he did this?
Yeah, I texted him after. I said, I was interested. I was like, well, why'd you only post an hour of the interview? We recorded for 2.5 hours. And his response was, oh, basically we cut it down so to keep it entertaining.
I was a fan of Big MMA KO says, I used to love Berger and Tim and Eric, but like 6 years, it's been like 6 years since I've seen anything new from them. Eric isn't political, but Tim is. Yeah, I don't know about Eric. When I say Tim and Eric, I'm mostly talking about Tim Heidecker. I don't know shit about Eric. Vic Berger, I liked a lot of his early edits, like 2016, a lot of his shit, even though it was coming from like a leftist deranged point of view. a lot of it was still fucking entertaining and funny, man. A lot of his Trump edits and shit. And he was definitely an inspiration. I gave him a lot of credit for inspiring me to do that kind of editing. And then one day I just realized I was, this was a long time ago, probably 2018, 2019. I guess he saw one of my live streams and realized I wasn't a woke retard like him. And he blocked me on X. It was weird. I've never talked to the guy, but he blocked me.
To move from top,
This is how the leftists
cut down
behave.
topics and whatnot. I said, and I didn't want any beef or anything with him. I was like, okay, whatever. Then the next few days, I watched the interview finally, and I say, whoa, that's not what happened. Like, there's
let's
critical
be
parts
clear.
of the
I
interview where
watched
he
it
just cuts
versus
out.
your video. He took completely different answers to totally different questions and deceptively edited together. That's fraud.
Yeah, it's not cool. At the end of the day.
Yeah, it's not cool. So I know you released.
Yeah, but this is an ancient tactic the media has been using forever. You know, it's kind of like, for me, I can kind of forgive it if it's just for comedy. Like, if it's just for comedy, you're doing it just for laughs, and everybody knows that that's kind of what you're doing, and you're letting people in on the joke, and they realize, like, hey, this is not to be taken too seriously. It's just, I'm just editing for fucking shits and giggles. That's one thing. But when you take that into the like actual mainstream media news world, where you're actually trying to manipulate the way people see the world and present a false reality, that's when it gets pretty disgusting, in my opinion. And that's part of why I leaned into making the type of edits I did. I kind of wanted people to see how fucked things can be when you decide, hey, I'm just gonna edit things to fucking be absolutely completely fake, but yet in a way believable, right? And that was one of the motivations when I first started doing it. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And I'm like, well, this could be a good lesson for people. And hopefully could wake some people up to the type of manipulation that the media does through editing. And they were doing it hardcore to Trump at that time. And I was very annoyed with it. I was annoyed with the constant fucking taking everything out of context to create just bullshit narratives to make, you know, their political enemies look bad. And they did it to Trump over and over again. And some people have theorized that's why YouTube had a problem with what I was doing, because I was kind of I was blowing the whistle on a lot of the tactics the media is using. I don't know if that's the case, but you know, when I do it to make people laugh and inform people of how context works and how editing can be misused, that's bad. But when the media does it, that's good, right?
Just a few examples of it, but you've seen the whole thing. I mean, it looks like you give your real answer that's great, and I guess you would take something 10 minutes later, edit it together. Just crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, the interview was 2.5 hours long, so he sliced it into an hour and 10 minutes, and he's able to move footage around. And like the story kind of, like when you have those in-depth conversations, it needs to be shown for what it is. You can't just kind of move stuff around.
And did he tell you it was a podcast? Did he tell you it was a podcast?
And that's the best way to do it, is to cut to some graphic. Like when he's talking about Denver and you want to hide that you just admitted he was right. Well, you remove that part and then you cut to some graphic, some infographic that makes it look all smart and intelligent. And the only reason you're doing that is to fucking be able to edit it and not make it obvious that you're fucking moving to a different place in time.
Yeah, he said it's going to be part of C5 Cast, which is his podcast.
Okay, so let's be clear. People don't know. If somebody says, I got to go to the bathroom, or there's a technical thing, you cut that out. A podcast is free form. You don't do that. So yeah, let's go ahead and play a clip just showing the deception of this guy. Here it is.
All right, this is super important, and I also learned a great lesson here. So the other week, I sat down with Andrew Callahan in Channel 5 to do a sit-down podcast-style interview for his channel. And when he goes and posts the video, I see he just posted an hour-long interview. I said, well, that's weird, because we actually spoke for around 2.5 hours. And then I go and watch the interview, I'm saying, well, what is this? This is not what happened.
This is smart. Like, if you're going into a situation, I think Alex did this with Megyn Kelly as well. Like, he had his own fucking recording going. If you're going into a situation where you're dealing with somebody who you know has the potential to mislead the interview and make it look one way and edit it and fucking, you need to have your own copy of that interview. You need to be filming your own fucking footage of it so that you can show, okay, this is everything that was taken out and changed.
For instance, this clip right here.
What American city is prospering right now? Austin. Austin. Name another one. El Paso, Texas. El Paso, Texas is prospering? Yeah. Nashville's doing good. Phoenix is doing good. Basically, any place with low state tax is getting a lot of... In any place that's not Democrat. I don't know about that. I mean... Name a Democrat city that's prospering right now. Well, it would have to be one that's affordable. Name one. Denver. Why are you smirking? It's not prospering.
All right, so that's the clip Andrew posted, but this is the actual interaction of how it went.
Denver. Why are you smirking? Because I don't know if it's prospering. It's not. See, you can't even answer the question. It's not prospering. Denver's not prospering either. I agree that Democrat-run states are doing badly.
I wonder why he had to cut that out. I wonder at his heart if Andrew Callahan, like a lot of these people, know the reality of the situation, that the Democrats are fucking terrible. But they control the media, and if you want to get ahead, like, throw your morals away and just do whatever is going to help you climb that ladder. I'm telling you, ladder climbers are going to be the death of this country, bro. They have no morals. They just want money and fucking to climb that ladder, and they'll
Cornpop
they don't care about
_82
the
super
damage.
chatted $2. I'd wear a pin, digital timer on my shirt.
That's a pretty good idea, bro. That's a pretty good idea. Yeah, just something that makes it out like a clock in the background. Yeah, that would work. But really what you want is like the whole footage. Because I think that's a lesson for people, right? Because a lot of times people don't get to see what's on the cutting room floor. Like that's one thing about when I edit Rogan, like everything you can go and watch Rogan's full episode and see everything that was left on the cutting room floor. Everything that was taken. I've had people do it. They've gone through and fucking timestamped every little clip. I mean, the amount of work the dude must have put into it is off the fucking charts to go back and like forensically figure out each cut I made and where it came from and which episode and which line. And but yeah, that's the difference. So like when you have the real footage, the unaltered, unedited footage, then people can see what was cut away. And dude, if that doesn't like help people understand the game, I don't know what will. Problem is, there's just still too many stupid fucking people, dude, who fall for the oldest tricks in the book.
Kind of weird that Andrew didn't put that in, right? Maybe his like base or something would not be happy with that response because he obviously got caught lying. And anyways, let's move over to the next topic when we're talking about Somalians being known for pirating, as 89% of the fraud that has been charged inside of Minnesota is by Somalians. This is the interaction that Andrew posted.
Somali community, or do you see it as both? 89% of the fraud is being committed by Somalians. Where exactly is that statistic from? You can pull it up on the screen. You'll find it. I just want to know where it's from. You want me to find it right now? For sure, just so I can, I don't know.
See, the cutaways are for a reason, right? Like I could do, like if I'm filming, like if I want to do this, right? I want to have multiple cameras, right? So it's not going to be just one camera capturing the whole interview. I'm going to have like 5 cameras. So I can change the angle, and when I change the angle, it can look like, you know, a clean cut, and it's not, we're just jumping time, where if I just, like there's ways to hide it, and one of the oldest, easiest, kind of laziest ways to do it is just to add a graphic, add a picture of something else, cut away, and then come back. And yeah, this is very obvious, dude.
I believe you. I just want to make sure we have the exact. Here, right here. Yeah, and it's not racist to say it. Probably. And when I go.
This is what happens when I show him the fact that 89% of the people who have been charged for fraud in Minnesota are Somalians. This is what Andrew had to say. But remember, he conveniently left this out of the interview.
89% of those charged in connection with major white identified as Somali Americans. Well, looks like we've got to redo there. I'm interested to see what you put in this interview, because it looks like there's a problem with fraud.
So there you go. That's just.
I wonder if Andrew was doing this to try to like loosen him up and be like, oh, so Andrew's agreeing with me. Shit, actually, we're having breakthroughs here. Meanwhile, every time he's going to cut that out and totally not reveal to his audience that he agrees. Andrew, you're probably going to get canceled by your audience now, bro, because they found out you're a liar. You're not a real diehard leftist, bro. You're just a lying leftist trying to climb that ladder, dude.
There's 2 examples from the interview with Andrew Callahan where he literally went out of his way to try and make me look bad. which is not cool. And I wouldn't say that's like very benevolent of him to do.
Not very benevolent, it's malevolent.
I promise you guys, if I ever do an interview with anyone, you're going to get the full product, because I think that's just like the most benevolent thing to do. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed and you guys were able to see through what I just showed you. The full interview is up on my second channel.
Yeah, so he did release on his own channel his footage of it, the full 2.5 hour interview. I haven't watched it yet. Maybe I should.
Nick Shirley, you're too nice. He is caught red-handed taking stuff from different parts of the interview to give you false answers. It's criminal, basically. And the guy is a total fake monster. He is so disgusting, and he needs to be exposed here. I mean, this is sick.
Remember when the left tried to cancel him? Like, I wonder if that was like a little of a warning. Because, I mean, he's doing so many fucking views on YouTube. Like, clearly, like, all these leftists, the algorithm just pushes everybody to their fucking channel. But there was a point where, remember, they tried to Me Too him. And I think they kind of were successful for a little bit, because he was, there was this chick that slept with him who felt like she was pressured because he wouldn't stop, like, begging her for sex. Which is a bad look. Like, don't beg for sex, dude. I mean, seriously. Begging for sex. What the fuck, bro? Look, if a chick isn't, like, wanting your dick badly, begging for it is not going to change that, okay? I'm sorry to tell you.
This is absolutely sick, what he's done.
Yeah, I understand if he wants to cut down the interview to make... But you don't
take
cut out
other
key
answers to other questions and sandwich them together. That's fraud.
Exactly. That's the whole purpose of what I try to show him. Like, hey, don't go out and try to make me look bad and then not show your faults as well. That's the whole purpose of doing a podcast, to do an interview, is to have an open dialogue conversation.
And he's there agreeing you're right, but cutting it out. But here's the deal. The arrogance.
Exactly.
You're way bigger than he is. The left still thinks they can say Toomey can have a baby, attack somebody, say somebody else.
I don't know if I'd say Nick is bigger than Andrew at this point. Because, I mean, Nick has X, right? But I don't think on YouTube he's as big as Andrew. I could be wrong.
Did it say the woman that got killed, good, didn't show up, didn't ram the car? They just still act like no one can check them. Like, what does Callahan think now? You're 10 times bigger than him, 20 times. Like, he did. I love how he picked somebody that's super viral and has a giant audience to lie about. I mean,
I've fallen for there are times where I thought Nick might be slow or something, but I've realized Nick is not slow. Nick Shirley, he might not be the best talker, but that doesn't mean he's still not super intelligent. And he was smart enough to realize, I better get my own fucking recording of this interview just to be safe. So obviously Nick is not stupid.
What is his problem?
Yeah, very disingenuous on his part to do that. And like I said, I don't want any internet drama or anything, but people deserve to see the truth of what actually happened. Because imagine.
I know, but I go back to his arrogance. How would he? Well, number one, you say you trust him, you were smart. What made you tape it? Just an instinct?
Instinct. And then, instinct. I thought, well, because he does believe differently than me, I should have a backup recording. And it was funny when I pulled out that other camera, I could see he was like, wait, what? Why is he recording this? He allowed me to record it, which was cool of him. But I could see that was kind of like a very, like a awkward.
Yeah, never talk to a leftist. If you are, you got to tape it.
Yeah, and I think it was just wrong of him to do that. And as you guys see, he obviously lied.
I honestly think Alex wasn't happy about me editing the first interview I did with him. I edited it, but I didn't edit it like Andrew Callahan. I mean, I edited it to make it fucking entertaining as possible. But I think Alex wasn't happy about that. He wanted the whole thing put out. But honestly, we had technical issues, so there were some parts I had to edit out. But I think that's why Alex really wanted to do the second one in his studio with like no editing, just a full regular podcast. But if you watch my first interview with Alex, it was fucking entertaining because of the editing. But I wasn't trying to mislead and make it look like he had opinions that were different from what he really felt. Like, it was in the spirit of like keeping true to the original interview, but making it way more entertaining. I mean, editing is such a powerful tool. People underestimate how powerful it is.
In the clips, like, he got caught lying because it would not look good.
But again, this was after Andrew had already done it to Alex, so I think Alex was worried I was going to do a hit piece on him. There's been Alex Stein as well was worried that I was gonna like do a hit piece on him. Everybody's always worried about fucking somebody doing a hit piece.
Good for his base. For him to then say, well, because I don't know. He's admitting that he does not know, and he's lying to his base, and he didn't want to show that to his fans. I mean, that's just the truth of what it is.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. If he would have put those lines in there of him acknowledging that, yeah, Democrat cities are the biggest shitholes. And if you look at all the cities doing the worst, they're all Democrat ran. And they'll point to like one city that's in a Republican state, but yet the city leadership's all Democrat. Like they really don't have any comeback for that shit. Yeah, Democrats are doing a shitty job and people, for some reason, keep voting for them. It makes no sense to me. Makes no sense. So yeah, Nick's order. I'm telling you, dude, they're going to end up killing one of these dudes. They almost killed fucking Jake Lang. And I have a feeling Nick's order, Nick Shirley, Cam Higby, these dudes that go out there and risk their life to film these deranged leftists, I have a feeling they're going to end up fucking killing one of these dudes, or they're going to get badly hurt. So we got Nick's order, and then we got what happened to the other guy, Jake Lang. We got that coming up. But here's a Somalian in Minneapolis just stole Nick Sorter's $1,000 camera. And again, they do this because they know there's going to be no repercussions. The city is not going to do shit. You can go and just steal their equipment, and the city will not fucking prosecute you.
Hey, get! What did she just do? She fucking...
Oh, shit. Okay, it's okay.
Nick tries to get it back.
She took Nick's camera. She just stole Nick's camera.
One thing that's a little silly is they keep saying, oh, the car was dragging Nick. Look, Nick is holding on to the car. You can see it. Nick's holding on to the fucking car all the way through. So we don't have to lie to make it worse.
Let's get her. No, give him the camera. Just tell her to give him the camera back.
So this can all be on camera. Actually, I think this lady actually is getting in trouble because isn't it like a felony once it's $1,000 worth of goods that are stolen or something like that? I don't know, but I heard the feds are actually going after this lady.
What happened, Nick?
They just stole my camera.
Right out of your hand while you were in the car?
That's what the fuck you wanted, right? That's what the fuck you wanted, right? That's what you did. Man, listen, motherfucker, you better get the fuck up out of here. You fucking coward.
See, these deranged types have totally taken over the streets of Minneapolis.
Motherfucker, you a coward, bitch.
You have to leave.
You fucking coward. Get robbed, you motherfucker. Get the fuck up out of here. $1,000 bitch. You fucking coward. You a fucking coward, motherfucker. Nobody motherfucker, you trying to incite that shit. Nobody stepped in. Get the fuck up out of here, bro. $1,000 worth of equipment. Fuck you, bitch.
Did you call 9? Did anybody call 911?
You're in this neighborhood.
Have Kevin do it.
You fucking Nazis.
We got it all on video. We're not Nazis.
Yeah, you fucking Nazis.
We're not Nazis and we're not racist. I condemn Hitler completely.
You a racist, bitch.
I'm not racist. I condemn all racism.
You a fucking Nazi.
I condemn all racism.
Why are you here?
We were driving through and we got followed.
Yeah. These fucking lunatics, bro. Let's see here. And here's Minneapolis basically telling Nick and Cam that they should leave.
Looking for the car, but you guys got to do us a favor and stay out of this area. All right? We don't want anything else escalating.
Like typical siding with the mob. The police. So here's the thing: the police will usually side with the mob, right? Like the mob could be lynching people, and they'll side with the mob. The problem is everybody else, especially these leftist pussy cops, bro.
At this point again, we got a lot of reports.
Well, we just don't. I mean, I guess what I don't
it's a
understand is
felony
like
versus them just not liking our. I understand that.
We get attacked and assaulted. By the way, they tried to steal my camera earlier, and we're the ones told to leave. Like,
I'm not justifying what they did, but we're trying to keep the peace at the end of the day. And bottom line is, you guys obviously aren't from the area.
But it's like if I'm a woman and I get raped for wearing tight jeans, and it's like, well, you shouldn't have been there. It's
okay,
like,
but that's not what we're saying.
Well, that's exactly what you're saying. You're blaming the victims for being there. You're like, well, you shouldn't be here. You're not from here. Leave. And this one, I mean, this is pretty scary, to be honest. Like, again, I do not like Jake Lang. It's very annoying that he shows up to these things and tries to represent the right when he does not represent us. Jake, we don't want you to represent us. Stop trying to represent us. Just fuck off. But what happened to him, none of that makes it right. No matter how much I don't like Jake Lang, he deserves to, no one deserves this kind of treatment, and he's lucky to be alive, to be honest. And obviously be smarter, right? Like don't go out into these crowds. Like a lot of these journalists that are doing it now, they're doing it undercover with masks. Like that's how Cam and Nick are still getting footage out here, because a lot of times they're undercover. They can't even talk because people recognize their voices. But Jake Lang goes out here and like tries to start a fucking riot every time. It's just not helpful. So he runs into the hotel. He's running from this mob. I don't know if this is before or after. I think everybody's seen the clip of him being pulled off that ledge. I don't know if this is before or after. Oh, that's the guy with the freedom shirt. I think this is the guy with the freedom shirt who later on the mob turns on him. One of their own people. They turn on this guy because he's got a American flag jacket that says freedom on it. We got that coming up too. Yeah, I didn't even know this. Yeah, that's the guy.
Fuck you, bitch! You can't leave him alone? Fuck you, hoe!
Yeah, this is after he was beaten. So yeah, this is after they pulled him from the ledge and beat him. Yeah, here he is like hiding on this little ledge here. And just like, there's just a bunch of fucking zombies. They just yank him off the ledge and pull him into the crowd and start beating him. And then this one black guy was trying to like protect him. I think this guy was with the crowd, but recognized what was going on. So look, the people who risk their life, because trust me, if you're going to step outside of what the mob is doing to protect somebody that the mob wants to take out, you are risking your life. So shout out to this dude. I mean, he seems to have been trying to protect Jake. I'm sure there's some of you that thought we'd never see a zombie apocalypse in our lifetime. Well, you're wrong. We're watching it in real time in Minneapolis right now.
Look at them!
Crazy.
Look at them! Immigrants! Anchor baby, violent migrants! Look what they do in America! Let's go, white Americans! Our country's worth standing up for!
I mean, it's almost like it's too perfect. You're giving them what they want, right? Like the people that show up to represent our side are the ones that are like stereotypical of what they want us to be. I don't know. I might become a conspiracy theorist here. It's all fake.
You can't think what medications are you
People say he's a Fed. I don't think a Fed would be this stupid, right? Because a Fed would know if he was to do this, there's a good chance he'll get lynched by the mob. So, I mean, is it Fed behavior, like the way he makes the right look like the stereotypes of the left, that the left have of us? Yeah, that's kind of Fed behavior, but I don't think a Fed would be this fucking stupid. see. I think where's the one where he gets yanked from the ledge? I think that's this one. Yeah, this one's pretty terrifying. So the crowd just all of a sudden grabs his leg and just pulls him down into the crowd. And he gets hurt pretty bad. Like he's bleeding afterwards. Look at that. Bunch of fucking zombies. I mean, and then people can be in this crowd and think that they're on the side of justice and right. Yeah, we're so right. We're so noble and brave as we act like a fucking mob lynching people. I don't understand the disconnect people have with reality right now. How they don't see like, oh, we are the bad guys. Oh, we're actually the bad guys. I don't know why they don't see it. Maybe they know it. They just already know it. I mean, that's terrifying, bro. This is why mobs are like the most dangerous shit ever, dude. And now he's gone into the sea of people as they beat him. Welcome to lawless Minneapolis. Now, I know Jake Lang, a lot of it be like, fuck Jake Lang, I don't like Jake Lang. Dude, I don't like him either. But that could be any MAGA supporter. They would do this to any... All of us are Nazis just like Jake Lang. You know that, right? To them, there's no difference between Jake Lang and me. And your average fucking, like, right-leaning centrist who's just like, I just want to enforce the law.
Super chatted $5. Of course, I don't like the attacks. However, who was surprised when Roy from Siegfried and Roy got attacked by a tiger?
Well, yeah, it's definitely stupid behavior from Jake Lang, right? It's definitely stupid. And it's like, I don't know. That's why I'm saying, like, a Fed wouldn't be this stupid. If he was a Fed, they would be smarter than this and not put themselves in this type of danger. The guy's a retard, no doubt about it. But that doesn't make it right when a mob tries to lynch somebody, dude. You know? I think that should be the bigger story here, is the mob behavior rather than Jake Lang. I mean, Jake Lang could have been the story if the mob didn't drag him into the fucking crowd and start beating the shit out of him. And then he escapes by getting into a anti-ICE protester's car. So this lady was like, she's a trans woman who just happened to be going to the bar, and he just jumps into a random car. And fortunately, they were so clueless as to what was going on, they actually probably saved his life.
Hey, stop. Wait, let them go. Let them go. Drive the car. Leave it up.
Fucking deranged people, bro.
Stop! Hey, let him out. Fuck that nigga, man.
Fucking deranged, dude. I'm so sick of these people, dude. I'm really sick of them. Yeah, this is the guy. We just saw him earlier wearing the freedom jacket. This is the treatment he got. Because they were turning on their own people. Okay, they were absolutely turning on their own people. If you had the wrong fucking sign, or you had the wrong attire, or you just looked like you could be an ICE agent, the whole mob would fucking turn on you. And here's an example of it. This is absolutely one of their own. Remember, we saw this guy earlier chasing Jake in the hotel, and then I guess they didn't get enough violence to fill them up for the day, so they had to find somebody else to turn into a Nazi to feed their need for violence.
Take it off. Take it off. He gave you a chance. There you go. I got you. You're good. Get your ass up
I don't know. Maybe this guy was with Jake Lang. I don't know. I just saw him chasing in the hotel earlier, chasing Jake Lang. And I imagine this guy's probably on the protest side. They got their war drums going around as they fucking lynch people in the street. These are the peace-loving Democrats, guys. These are the anti-racist. They just love and want to protect their community, guys. That's all they want. We're just here to protect our community. Meanwhile, they're the ones fucking terrorizing the community. I mean, it's not abnormal for these mobs of lunatics, like in any type of situation where you have mob behavior going on. It's not unusual for them to just all of a sudden just target just some random innocent person who's just at the wrong place at the wrong time. It's like, I'm bored. Let's just call somebody a Nazi so we can attack somebody. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this guy was with Jake Lang. I don't know. Sure seems like they're just randomly turning on people. Here's Cam Higby talking about the attack because he was right there. Like, here's another guy. I think this guy was actually just a tech worker, just at the wrong place at the wrong time. They thought they were ICE. We got that one coming up.
I have been out in Minneapolis today on the ground. They slashed somebody's throat, the violent mob of protesters. Jake Lang, who is a questionable anti-Islam activist, was brutally attacked. They beat his head in. He almost definitely has a concussion or traumatic brain injury. He wasn't violent at all. He was surrounded by 3,000 people. The mob walked by a diner, saw a bunch of tech workers sitting down, assumed that they were under...
Spocko2181 super chatted $4.99. They're doing this because they're allowed to. Where is Trump?
Yeah, where is Trump? Where is the Insurrection Act? I don't know. I think he's Sun Tzuing it, bro. He's like, never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. It's like, what if they make a mistake that gives you an opening to actually defeat them? Do you just sit back and not defeat them? No, we need to defeat these motherfuckers, bro.
Cover federal agents.
Yeah, and they know they're allowed to do it. Like, their city is obviously on the side of the insurrectionists, bro. I mean, their whole city is run by these insurrectionists who don't want to. They'd rather use illegals to steal elections and fraud and commit fraud than actually enforce the laws of the land. Crooks.
Pulled them out of the diner, attacked them. Turns out one of them was actually an anti-ICE activist. They beat that guy's head in. I pulled up on the corner just as they were beating him up, and then a team of sheriff's deputies stepped in, pulled their less than lethal rifles, and threw the guy in the van. Probably took him to the hospital. He was stumbling around after he got back up.
Yeah, we got a clip of that,
definitely
too.
has a concussion or some kind of traumatic brain injury. That was also, interestingly, the first time that I've seen the police help somebody who's been attacked by the mobs in the entirety of the time that I've been here, which has been quite a while, and I've seen a lot of attacks. 911 calls either don't get answered or the operators tell you to go screw yourself. Metaphorically, of course. They almost never send police. Tim Walz has now deployed the National Guard, but they're on standby. Despite the fact that this guy got his neck slashed, they still didn't come and help anybody. Minneapolis Police Department has totally...
At Freeman 3 super chatted $5. The mob actually dined by a walker.
I don't know what that means, Freeman. I wish I could pretend to understand what you're talking about, but I don't know what you're saying there. The mob actually dined by a walker. I'm not sure what you mean there, bro. I don't know if you're talking about the clip we're going to play in a little bit of the tech workers who were just getting lunch, and all of a sudden the mob walks by and they think it's ICE, and I think that's one of the guys that got attacked and then rescued by police. We got that clip coming up.
During this whole event where multiple people were almost killed, there was not a single MPD officer that I saw, and I was at most of these events. The sheriffs did step in in the city, which is surprising.
But no worry, no one's biz. Like, I mean, I know times are tough, bro. Like, if you can't support right now, just smash the thumbs up and share, brother. That helps a lot too. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Click the bell, leave a comment. All that stuff is helpful, brother. Don't worry about it. Thank you.
Generally, the sheriff's office operates outside of city limits
And thank you to all those who have supported. You guys rock. Much appreciated.
County, which is how most places operate. Tim Walz and Mayor Jacob Frey should be held on trial immediately.
Yes.
There is no reason that violent mobs should be patrolling the streets of their city and their state, trying to kill people, in some cases misidentified activists who agree with them because of their opinions.
Bro, I agree. And it is frustrating as someone sitting back going like, okay, Trump, what are you doing? Are we going to defend our cities, or are we just going to allow fucking this madness to continue? I don't know. I wish I could talk to him. I wish I could sit down and understand what he's thinking, because sometimes it's hard to understand. So yeah, tech workers say they were mistaken for ICE agents, accosted by anti-ICE mob. Here's the video of them I think they're just getting coffee or lunch or something.
This is so cool. I mean, so cool as in like this has got to be the funniest thing I've ever seen. I know, it's like, you feel like a zoo animal.
Yeah, it's real funny until the entire mob yanks you out of there and fucking lynches you in the street. Hilarious.
If you're not with us, then you're against us. So clear. So clear.
Oh my god. What? We do custom apps for a whole bunch of companies around Minnesota and the country. Filming us?
Why are you filming us?
Because you're filming us.
They think they're the fucking law now, dude. They really do. They think that they're the fucking law.
Do I look like an ICE agent?
Yeah, you look like a fucking ICE agent.
Holy fucking Christ. This is what's wrong with the guy's call.
No, it's not. Because you have no relationship with us. Wait, so do you support? Would you support?
Support what? Wait, you guys are acting?
So they mistake you for being ICE, and then they put you through a fucking, basically like a, what do they call it? There's a word for it when communists do this. A session. I don't know. I'm missing the word, but a struggle session to prove how much you hate ICE. And if you don't hate ICE enough, then we might just lynch you right here and now.
Oh, okay.
Guys, if you want to survive, this is going to be very similar. This could happen like it did in China, where all of a sudden they start going house to house. And if you don't have your whole house decked out with all the liberal slogans, you might end up going to jail. So you might want, if you want to survive this, you might want to start buying like anti-Trump shit, like fuck Trump, fuck ICE, get a photo of Mao, hang it on your wall. And then when the secret police come to your door, you can be like, look, I'm good. I hate Trump too, anti-ICE. And then maybe they'll leave you alone. But I mean, that's where this leads to. Like, if this continues, they will go door to door. And they'll start picking the houses with American flags, and they'll go in there and they'll be like, oh, you're a Trump supporter? Gone.
Yeah,
the way you guys are, I don't support ICE either.
Then why do you care? Then you should say,
I'm just trying to enjoy my lunch.
If you're not with us, then you're against us.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure they got attacked, because this is afterwards. This looks like the same area. I think this is one of those guys. I don't know. I've heard that this is one of those tech guys. And you can tell he's probably got a concussion or something. Like, you can tell he's still suffering from whatever happened to him. Like, you can tell he's like he just got knocked out.
He's one of us.
Okay, good.
You alright, dude?
You alright?
Yeah, after the mob kicks your ass, then they act like, oh, okay, you're sorry, you're one of us. Sorry, we almost killed you.
He's one of us. How do we know? How we know? I was with him earlier. Why you get ran out earlier? I don't know. It was one of us. I'm with them. Trust me. He's one of the people on it. He's been with us the whole time. You pepper spray. You all right, man?
Seems like somebody. I don't even know if this is Minnesota or ICE.
Spocko2181 super chatted $4.99. If you've donated to the wrong person, they'll find you.
And this is where it would, if these people get control, this is where it ultimately would lead to. They will go door to door. And if you're not one of them, even if you are one of them and you just are not good enough at convincing them you are, I mean, they might kill you. They might send you off to a, re-education camp to get you indoctrinated into the communist ways. These people are the real danger, right? This is why I hate this left-right. Oh, the left-right, they're still both the same. Like, dude, these people are the real danger. If these people got control of our country, we would be finished. We would be done. And they are gaining power right now when you start seeing people willing to vote for, like, Mamdani in New York. And then they hide under, we're Democrats, Socialists of America. They're fucking communists. And if we allow them to take power, this country is fucking done. And if you don't understand that, you are one of those useful idiots they're taking advantage of.
Back up. Back up.
I actually think this might be ICE. I don't know. It actually doesn't look like ICE.
Yeah, save your Nazi. Put him in your Nazi van.
See, now he's a Nazi again. Now he's a Nazi again.
Go get him some help. He needs a little bit of fucking mental health there. Don't he? Nobody got guns. Yeah, you gonna look me in the eye when you spray me? You gonna look me in the eye when you spray me?
They go right into victim mode. They just fucking assaulted a man on the street for just not having the right ideology or saying the right things or looking too much like a MAGA supporter, and then they go right back into victim mode. Right back into victim mode. Here, this is again, a lot of the times, like when fucking retards, he's not a retard, but like when Joe Rogan's like, oh, they're just pulling off people off the street. The people that most of the time who they're pulling off the street are the worst of the worst. Okay? And this ICE agent is just done with it. He's there to fucking get rid of a pedophile, and these people are out there obstructing his ability to remove dangerous fucking people that are a threat to you and your children, and you're out there stopping them from being able to get them out. It's ugly, bro.
We're here to arrest a child sex offender. And you guys are out here honking.
Oh, they're not. No, we're pressed.
That vehicle right there is honking and impeding our investigations while we're trying to arrest a child sex offender. That's who you guys are protecting. Insane. That's what we're doing. My word's not for you. My word is not for you. I don't have this word. It's insane. How you can be honking.
We need to protect our neighbors. What if your neighbor is a fucking pedophile who's here illegally? You're going to protect him? Apparently, yes. It seems to be the case with you idiots. Apparently, you're all down. Here's another one that they thought is an ICE agent because his rental car has Texas plates. Look, as someone from Texas, I've experienced this, not in the ICE thing, but when I went to Philadelphia, I was in a Texas truck that had Texas plates, and I would get heckled on the street for my Texas plates. And it was usually about the Cowboys. They all assumed I was a Cowboys fan, and Philadelphia Eagles, they hate the Dallas Cowboys. And just having Texas plates, they all start following this guy, honking at him as he's just trying to get groceries.
You hear all the beeping? It's for me.
Bro, this could be the plot of a horror movie where you show up in some town and you're on a road trip or whatever, and you drive through a town and the town is just filled with deranged people who have had a brain worm drive them insane or something like that. I mean, sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, you know? Wow. Yeah, Donnybrook. Who are the Niners? I never heard of them. Donnybrook? What's the Niners? You're sorry about the Niners? What? I don't even know who the Niners are. What is that? It's a number. Niners is kind of a number. Is it really a number? I'm not even thinking about football anymore, Donnie. Football season's over for me, bro. Yes, it was very disappointing, okay? Very disappointing, but the Niners fought hard this year. Okay? They overcame a ton of injuries, all kinds of shit. And they just couldn't. Seattle just had their number, man.
Right here. Texas plates.
But what
When
is
you're in
football
Minnesota
anyway?
with Texas plates.
I'm ready for baseball season. I'm ready for the Braves to get back in spring training.
Everybody thinks you're ice. Just trying to get some food. This is what I got to deal with.
I couldn't imagine living. I would be looking to move right now. I imagine there's a lot of people that live in this area. They're like, I need to move. I need to get the fuck out of the city. So here's Will Stansel follows 2 unmarked vehicles suspected of being operated by ICE agents. This is a very telling video because it really lets you into how coordinated these Mad Maxers are, who are acting like a anti-ICE police force in their cities. Like, they are fucking coordinated, and they got they're on the radios fucking talking to each other. It's insane. So here's an ICE agent. This is what they do. They follow and honk. Follow and honk. But listen to the radio. That's what's insane when you hear the radio go off. Like, they really think they're their own fucking police force, bro. They really, really do. Mikey Back says, I'm sure property values are high in Minnesota right now, especially Minneapolis. They are definitely driving up home values doing that shit. How would that drive up home values, Mikey? That doesn't make sense to me. I would think that would drive down home value. Like, who wants to buy a house in an area where you have mobs roaming the city, attacking people for wearing the wrong t-shirts? People that don't, I mean, the laws of the street aren't even enforced anymore. Like, the danger of just driving your kid to school and being hit by somebody running a red light because they think there's some sort of law enforcement officer having to track ICE. Like, how would this make home value go up? I don't understand that. Oh, sarcasm? Okay, well then, sorry, Mikey. Sarcasm's hard to read in text sometimes, bro.
Be careful.
I mean, sarcasm is hard to read in text, and then it's even hard, like, because sometimes I'm sarcastic, and then people don't even realize it. You can fall for it. I'm guilty as well. But yeah, I understand now, Mikey. Sarcasm for the win. First of all, there is a law that you're not allowed to use your horn like this, right? The laws don't apply to them. Laws only apply to ICE, even though ICE is actually following the law. The laws only apply to ICE. The laws don't apply to us because we're the freedom fighters. We're the good guys. No, you are not the good guys. And watch, in 10 years, they're going to make a movie about these fuckheads, and they're going to make them seem cool as shit. They're going to get some hot blonde chick, the hottest blonde chick in Hollywood, and she's going to be like the leader of it all, and then some base black dude is the hero at the end, and it's like they're going to make a movie and try to make all these people look like badasses. You watch.
Turning down Bryant? Say that to them?
Someone else. These guys say
This is Liz. We're heading south on Lake Street from Bryant, so we'll let you know. What are you passing right now? We're right by Bryant and 32nd. They just turned left.
Be careful.
Eastbound. Okay.
You listen to the radio chatter. Listen to the coordination going on. I wonder if there's some Soros funding going on here, but yeah, there's definitely the Democrat Party's all for this, man. This is why they're forcing ICE to do something about these people, and then as soon as ICE has to do something, and then they try to arrest them and they refuse to get out of the car, so ICE has to break the window and drag them out of the car. Then the mainstream media will just spin it as, oh, ICE is arresting a citizen. ICE is no jurisdiction. They're breaking the law. And like, it is frustrating. This is one of the most blackpilling things, is how obvious the lies are and the propaganda and manipulation, but yet here we are. Like, people are still falling for it. Joe Rogan, like, come on, Joe. You were so fucking quick to see it. It took you a little longer than me, Joe, but you still were quick to start seeing the propaganda around COVID. But yet you're falling for this stupid shit? You're falling for this stupid shit, Joe? Joe, but you should have me on your show, Joe. Okay? Here's another one of these. Alert. Woman reveals that a quick response group she was in was able to impede and obstruct an ICE operation that ended in the detainee being let loose.
It's January 17th.
Oh, my Lord. Watch what she does. Like, I think this is a new thing among the leftist women to signal, like, how woke they are. Right? This is a new little thing. Watch.
Minneapolis right now with 2 small wins.
Yeah, show off your armpit hair. Oh, you think you're woke? Look at my armpit hair. Yeah, that's like my badge right there, proving I'm a crazy woke bitch. Bitch, shave your fucking armpits, please, okay? Men are leaving my show right now. My viewer numbers are going down because they can't even stand to look at your hairy armpits, okay? It's disgusting. It's disgusting. But that's the thing now. Being a disgusting Satanist freak, that's what's cool among these people.
Today. One, Jacob Lang, the leader of this like little pro-ICE rally in downtown Minneapolis.
They'll always do it, dude. They'll always do it. Every time they have hair under their armpits and they're not shaving it, they will have an excuse. They'll wear some shit. They want to show it off. They want to show it off. Look how badass I am. I'm fighting the patriarchy with my armpit hair. No, bitch, you're just a fucking freak, okay? And I feel bad for any man that has to put up with you.
Didn't go so well for him today. Small numbers, they kept getting cornered in downtown, and then a very friendly Minnesotan gave him a nice super soaking, drenching him head to toe in water, including his little cotton gloves and cotton hat.
Are you going to mention how they beat him over the head and caused him to have a brain injury? Are you going to mention how you guys attacked some random tech worker? And are you going to mention that your mob nearly lynched multiple people, some of them innocent by your own standards? No, yeah, such a victory, huh?
13 degrees here in Minneapolis today. He got so cold, he began asking Minnesotans for help, which of course they did not give him.
Yeah, because he was cold, right? That's why he was asking for help.
Last I heard,
it wasn't the mob fucking beating him.
The Minneapolis Police Department was.
You like armpit hair, Akuma skill? Hey, look, man, to each their own, bro. I don't know. I'm not into hairy women, dude. Okay, I'm not into hairy women. That's just me.
Pursuing him in his red Ford Dart somewhere in South Minneapolis. This leads me to my next small win. Today in South Minneapolis at the Arco gas station on Lake Street, a convoy of 4 vehicles filled.
They look at what they all worships. It's like this. They're all the same. They get the trendy tattoos that are just like fucking retarded looking. Won't shave their armpits hair. Worship celebrities. Worship the media. They're all this. It's so fucking pathetic, bro.
ICE agents pulled up on a man pumping gas and arrested him, threw him in the back of one of their vehicles.
Isn't that the chick that died in the fucking plane wreck? Is that a picture of her after she died in the plane wreck? Is that what that is? Is that Aaliyah? I mean, oh, I'm so woke.
To abduct him when we got the call for this.
I think that's Aaliyah, right? Like the chick that died a long time ago in that plane crash.
Exciting. Within minutes, we had 20 to 30 observers on foot and in vehicle, myself included. I posted a video on my page where we showed up and we overwhelmed these ICE agents so much that they let this detainee go. Now, my video does not include this detainee's face or his vehicle as a means to protect him.
Yeah, and you should go to jail for that. By the way, what's the rap sheet of this detainee? Was it another one of these pedophiles, one of these sex pests, one of these criminals that you de-arrested. Congratulations. Congratulations. You made sure to keep the pedophile on the streets. Good job.
Further, but it's working, you guys. It's working. And I know that dozens of arrests are happening in the metro area every day, but dozens more would be happening if it wasn't for the organized way that my community is showing up to stop these ICE agents. And we're scaring them. They are scaring us, but we are scaring them right back. We have to keep going. It is working.
Yeah, keep going, dumbass. Yeah, keep going all the way into a fucking jail cell, bro. I want to see all these people arrested. I'm just done with this, dude. I'm done. It's not like, I don't know. I don't want to deal with this anymore, dude. I want these people to I want them to face some repercussions, because the longer this goes on, the longer they feel like they can just break laws. They can take the law into their own hands and there's no repercussions. They're going to keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And Trump, I don't know. Like, everybody's sitting back going, where's the Insurrection Act? When are we going to do something about this? So I don't know. It's confusing to me, man. I'm confused. Like, why do we allow this to go on? Would the left wing allow this to happen? If it was a right wing city and everything was reversed? No, we'd all be fucking locked up already. And I don't know, man. I'm just sick of this shit, dude. It's to a certain point where it's just like, I don't even know what to say anymore. It's so fucking out of control. And we just have to do something about it. We've got to restore law and order in our streets. Okay, even if it's crazy ass woke Minnesota, we need to restore law and order. So how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a wonderful night. MAKO, they are arrested for a crime, but we don't realize they're illegal. How is that possible? They're arrested for a crime, but we don't realize they're illegal. How's that? Well, if you're talking about like these sanctuary cities, like, they could arrest somebody. They could arrest a pedophile who has an active deportation order from an immigration judge, but they will refuse to notify ICE that they have this person in custody and they can come pick them up, and they'll just let them back out in the streets. And they'll do that over and over and over and over again, as we've seen. I mean, there's many instances of this, of people who have been violent, fucking just terrible people that they just continue to release over and over again. And yeah, they refuse to cooperate with ICE, because the idea, they're what I've heard them say is like, if we notify ICE, like if an illegal immigrant calls 911 to report something, and then we notify ICE that person's illegal, then people aren't going to call 911. Illegals are going to be too scared to call 911, and we don't want that to happen. They can justify anything, bro. They can justify anything they do. Any crazy decisions they make, they always have a weird way of justifying it. Oh, but think about the illegals. What if something happens and they need to call 911? Now they're scared, so they don't get any help. No, they shouldn't even be here. So what does it matter? Just get them out. Just get them out. I had a dream from Martin Luther King Jr., right, guys? Yeah, happy MLK Day. Happy MLK Day. I don't think... I know a lot of people have their feelings about Martin Luther King, and he was a this and he was a that. He wasn't a good guy. He was a serial this or that. Look, I grew up, I think the message that I was taught in the 90s and 80s, the Martin Luther King message, was a very powerful message, and I think it needs to be taught more. And you know, we got away from that. We got away from the the left did. They got away from the old school Martin Luther King message of like, don't judge a book by its cover, don't judge people by their race. We're all individuals, And it became this thing where it's like hyper obsession over race, where like, if I try to say, hey, I don't really care if you're black, I don't care if you're Asian, I don't care what your skin color is, we're all Americans at the end of the day. If we're a citizen of this country, then we're all Americans, and that's what matters, and that should be our identity, and we should be able to come together as Americans. Well, we got to throw that out the window, because if you don't acknowledge that I'm black and you just think I'm American, then you're disenfranchising me by not acknowledging the hundreds of years of racial oppression. Blah, blah. It's just fucking lost the plot. If we can get back to that fucking message that we had in the 80s and 90s, which, believe it or not, in the 80s and 90s, we had way more racial harmony among the different races in this country than we do now. And part of it was because of that message, the message that Obama ran on at the beginning, it's not a white America, it's not a black America, it's the United States of America. Like that message, if we can get back to that message, maybe we could put some of this racial bullshit behind us. But The left realized that grifting off of race is more beneficial to them politically than not. So that's what they're going to do. I've never called 911. I'm sure I've called 911 before. When did I ever call 911? I can't even remember. I'm sure there's a time I've called 911 before. They gave MOK and Day and stopped talking about what he believed. They just used MOK's story to advance their agendas. Yeah, man, the 90s were so chill. I agree, Maxwell's. Public allies. No one really knows about that either. Susano, what's up, buddy? Yeah, happy Martin Luther King Day, John. I hope you're doing good, John. But I was also only 8. I don't think anyone even knows she had a beef with them. Susano, I don't know what we're talking about here, bro. I missed too many of your messages. Preach, Brother Ping. Thank you, SoundX Phonetic. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Everybody having fun out there? Enjoying your Monday? Social media has ruined most everything. Why do we put up with it? I honestly, Akuma Skill, I can't disagree with that. Like, I love social media. I love YouTube. I love being able to do what I do and have, an audience. So, social media has been good to me in some ways, but I cannot deny that social media is destroying this the minds of the people of this country. That's why I don't think it's just that we need to do something about social media. I think it's the algorithms, right? It's the power that is had with these algorithms to influence the minds of people. And, it's one thing if it happens naturally. It's one thing if you get some left-wing shit naturally, and you it's another thing when a site decides like, hey, we want people to believe this way and not this way. So we're going to just basically inundate people with this stuff and then bury this other stuff rather than giving people the ability to have access to all of the information and then form their own opinion. I mean, if it was me, I would definitely create regulations around the algorithm that made sure that there was a tiny little sliver of shit that they're allowed to do, which is like, okay, if you want to rank content based on, upvotes, watch time, click-through rate, all that, that's great. You can rank content by what performs better and then rewarding that content by putting it on a homepage or recommending it to people. Like, if you keep it real simple, it's probably not that bad. Like, think about like early YouTube, 2014 YouTube, like that basic algorithm that's only trying to surface content that people actually want based on their viewing habits and what is performing well. Like, that is not that bad. But then the potential for the algorithm to be abused to mislead people and push them into the directions that the powers that be want to push them, that's fucking dangerous. And, you see it on TikTok. TikTok is a fucking hellscape of woke bullshit, dude. And a lot of these women are the products of TikTok. Like, this bitch right here is 100% a product of TikTok propaganda. And probably CNN and MSNBC and all that. But yeah, there's so many problems that, like, for me, I see, like, okay, the algorithms are really a big part of this problem that we're having. Are we going to do anything about it? No. Okay. Leftist cities not enforcing the law, that's a big problem. Are we going to do anything about it? No. At a certain point, it gets really fucking annoying. Because it's like, we can all see these things are problems. We can see the potential for massive amounts of abuse with the algorithms. But is government ever going to address it? No. They're just probably going to wait until Democrats are back in. And then there'll be a whole new wave of bannings and censorship and shadow banning and all that. And they'll get back in control of everything. And if it wasn't for X, imagine how bad things would be. Because X is like the only one where you can have a point of view. And X is not perfect, but it's way better than TikTok, where you can have an anti-leftist point of view and not get banned or completely shut the fuck down. Because that's what happens on most of these platforms. If you have a woke leftist point of view, you're fine. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You can break the law. You can push other people to break the law. All that's fine. But if you're right wing, all of a sudden you have the wrong boom, you're gone overnight. You're just yoinked. And then it's like, yeah, no wonder TikTok's just filled with a bunch of crazy leftists. Yeah, they're the only ones really allowed to talk on there. It's just getting crazy, man. This whole country's getting fucking crazy, dude. It's like, I don't know. It's not looking good, to be honest, for the future of this country. It's not looking good at all. Young people can't even focus on watching a movie or other long form content. How do you expect them to understand, extract? Yeah, I mean, that's another problem, Kikari. That's another problem. That's, I mean, I hate the short form content. I don't really like Instagram. I hate TikTok. I mean, that's one thing I like about YouTube is long form content, but it's affecting everybody. Our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. And, I mean, yeah, try to understand the in and outs of border law and why ICE is actually legally doing what they're supposed to do by the fucking law, by the Constitution. Try to understand that. No, I'll just listen to this lefty just say there's no due process, and then I'll run with that, rather than actually investigating. Like, oh, what do you mean there's no due process? Well, what is due process for an illegal immigrant, and why can ICE do this and do that? It's like no need to investigate. Just this crazy armpit-haired lady on TikTok told me they're arresting people without due process, so I'll just run with that because that's easier. That's easier than actually doing my own fucking research. YouTube search is currently broken. Yes, it's been broken for a long fucking time. And I don't know if you've noticed this, Susano, but they've quietly did away with the being able to order things by most recent. You know, like I forget what they would call it, but you could do a search and then you could go click on that thing and go by like most recent uploaded. So you could find like shit that's hard to find, that's buried. You know, you can find like the most recent uploads on that topic that you're searching for. They tried to get rid of that a couple years ago and people complained. And then they just quietly got rid of it and nobody's saying anything. So yeah. Again, it's about controlling you. It's about controlling your mind. It's about controlling what information you have access to. And it's a very dangerous game that we are allowing to go on. We have to stop doing this. We have to really get serious. I thought this would be something Trump would be, you know, serious about, which would be like addressing the algorithms. Because I mean, social media is terrible, yes. And a lot of it is because of the algorithms. Because of the algorithms. We need to have social media be as free and open to as many ideas as possible. And we don't need some fucking Silicon Valley weirdos putting their thumb on the scale and deciding who gets to influence people and who doesn't. Because it's always going to be if you do that, it's always going to be these fucking armpit-haired, woke feminist, dumb bitches. And yeah, well, this country is fucked. If these dumb bitches are in control of the country, we're fucked. So we have to do something about it, and nothing will be done like usual. So, you know, what's the point of even complaining? Because what's the fucking point? Nothing gets done. The problem is there's so many issues that Trump can't possibly address them all. I don't know why he can't, Mikey's Bago. I don't know why you can't. How long does it take to write an executive order and get with your lawyers and be like, I'm going to create a new executive order and fucking, I don't know, that makes it to where it's all algorithms for every platform has to be, you know, transparent, and they need to release it so we can see what's going on, and they have to be fair systems because it's also like an anti-business practice. Like it's you can control whose businesses are successful and not. So like in a situation like that, don't you want the marketplace to be a fair marketplace and not be something that can be abused so that you can just reward your buddies? And then like, I mean, this is just too much at stake here just to allow these algorithms to continue to be these black boxes that we have no idea what's going on. Way too much at stake. These idiots always try to appear bigger than they are. I want to gamble with Don Lemon on the table. I don't know. Don Lemon might be dangerous, bro. I don't know if you could read him. Don Lemon's one of those guys, like when he talks, it's like, is there any emotion there? Is there a real person behind all that fake presentation? They don't want their secret sauce out in the open. Well, fuck them. That's I want their secret sauce out in the open. I mean, the whole idea that like, oh, we can't let people know, it's bullshit, because an algorithm should be very simple. It should be like 5 metrics that the algorithm is tracking to be able to judge whether a video is performing well with an audience or not. And then they have so much information on the audience members, they can go, okay, this video about tacos is performing really well with all these accounts that people that obviously like tacos. So we're going to surface it to more people that like tacos. But what they'll do now is they go, tacos bad. We don't want people to know about tacos. We don't like tacos. Tacos are dangerous. So we're going to stop those people from being who are interested in tacos from getting their taco content. Obviously, I'm, just generalizing using tacos as an example, but that's what's going on. And that's what's led to a lot of the problems we have now. I don't think these dinosaurs in Congress can even define what an algorithm is. I mean, that's possible as well. But dude, like they have all the money in the world. Go hire some people that know. I mean, fuck's sake, dude. Get Elon in there. Elon knows. I mean, with his life, he's an idiot. And he's a little clout goblin provoking people. Talking about Don Lemon? Yeah. Don's Taco Bowl at Trump Tower. You gotta stop talking about tacos. I'm gonna get hungry. Don Lemon reminds me of a lizard alien from the TV show V. Yes, that is a good, I see exactly what you're saying there. He seems so fake. Like when he talks, he does not seem genuine about anything. Everything seems like a performance. And he's always like masking his true feelings. It's like, ugh. I don't know, man. It's creepy. It's creepy. We get you. We get it. You love tacos, Ping. Who doesn't like tacos? Is there somebody in here who doesn't like tacos? If you don't like tacos, I don't know. I might have to ban you from watching this show. I'm just kidding, obviously. But everybody likes tacos. I'm glad I turned 50. I couldn't take more than another 15 years of the world the way it is. For once in recent human history, a generation will pass on gladfully. Oh, man. Imagine if we could pull, like, so many of the people that died for this fucking country and then show them what's going on. They would probably cry. They would probably cry all day. I mean, X's algorithm was and probably still is full public. I've heard that. X has been constantly changing their algorithm. It's difficult, obviously. I don't know, man. I don't understand why it's so difficult. I know it's difficult because people game the system so much. But with a site like YouTube, I don't understand why it's so difficult. Like, you're just tracking a few metrics, click through rate, right? If I see the thumbnail, do I click on it? Okay, a lot of people clicking on the thumbnail at a higher rate than other videos. That tells you there's an interest. The crowd's interested in this. All right, do they watch the whole video? Right? On average, are they watching more of this video, like 70% of it or 80% of the whole video versus other videos, right? Oh, cool. So people are interested in this. Are the upvotes high versus the downvotes being low? Like, there's just a few metrics they need to measure, and you can tell if something is performing well. And then with the amount of data they have on the user, they can know, like, hey, these users, we have this segment of users who are really interested in clowns, and this video about clowns is doing really well, so we'll give them this clown video, right? But what happened is YouTube decided, in the name of safety, that they are going to decide what you're going to watch. It's not going to be this fucking algorithm that's there just to serve you the content you want. No. That's too dangerous. That leads to people like Trump being elected. So we got to step in and push people to the content that we want them to watch. That's when they fucked over their algorithm. They fucked over the ability to search for videos. They took away the downvotes so people can't see that everybody hates the video. Like, it's very obvious what they're doing. But let's do nothing about it and just let them continue to do it, right? That's what we're going to do. Bomb-ass carnitas tacos. No, I'm more of a South Texas taco guy. I'm not in that old Mexico fucking, those little tiny corn tortilla tacos. Fuck those things, man. I remember, like, I grew up in Texas. We took a trip to Phoenix and it was late and we were hungry, and then we stopped at one of those taco trucks to get some tacos. And it was the first time I experienced those Mexican tacos where it's just these little corn tortillas with like beef. And it's like, I was so disappointed. It's like, what is this bullshit? This is terrible. There's no cheese. Where's the cheese, bro? Where's the cheese? I want some cheese enchiladas, bro. I want some chalupas, dude. What is this shit? I got a coupon for $2 street tacos. I'm gonna have to use it. Yeah, street tacos. I don't like street tacos, bro. I'm from South Texas. Maybe people do street tacos here now, but for the longest time we didn't, dude. We do like breakfast taquitos and fajitas and shit like that. Those street tacos are just, I don't know. I'm never a fan of street tacos. I like to make the burrito tacos, pack it with everything. Okay. Those tacos are way better. Well, I don't know what we're talking about. I can make pretty good chicken tortilla with spicy sauce. Alrighty. That sounds good. Kikari, that sounds good. Thank you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see what's going on tomorrow. Hopefully, no more mobs lynching people. Hopefully, no more of that. We'll see. But I'll be back tomorrow night. Thank you guys for the support. You guys rock. Thank you so much. Hope you've enjoyed the show. I'll be back tomorrow around 9 Central. Might be a little late depending on what's going on. And yeah, if you're enjoying the show, smash the thumbs up on the way out. It's much appreciated. Links are in the description if you want to come hang out in the Discord, or if you want to support the show, or follow me on my second channel. All that's in the description. Much love, everybody. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody.
Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified. Here's some other videos to watch that you might like or you might not. Have a great day, my internet friend. I hope I'll see you once again. Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified. Have a great day, my internet friend. I hope I'll see you once again. Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified.